It is what it is. Here we are, as they say in France. As they say in France, um, stay fresh. It is what it is. I haven't done a live in so long, but apparently, um, I used to be able to do lives, I guess, um, this way, and it's easy to tie the phone up to the uh, rearview mirror. So I feel like the angle's off. I don't know where I'm supposed to be staring. Not that anyone cares, It's a stupid place. High tech, you know, high tech stuff. What's up, PT? High tech. Would Josh ever stop talking about food? I just feel like I get text messages all day about Josh talking about steak and hamburgers are on sale. And can we just take a break for one day and not talk about food? It is what it is. Sacco, we got a special guest tonight, Sacco. If you could guess who it is, we have a special guest coming on tonight. He's in for one night only. He's a gentleman. He's a young man that everyone here respects, or at least they don't say it to his face. Now while I'm around, and I got some nice, lovely. Look at that. I am right. My hotel is right next to Aldi's. There's not much to do in Kansas. I mean, I'm not in like the biggest city, but I'm not in the smallest city. I got a Mexican restaurant, a Walmart, a Dollar Tree. There's two hotels, a barbecue restaurant, a cheeseburger restaurant, an Aldi's, a gas station, and a liquor store. This is, hey, but you know what? Though? I'm not. Who am I? I'm no city slicker. Hey, you're from New York. That's from Long Island. But yeah, Long Island is the biggest suburb area out there. Minus maybe L.A., but per square inch, Long Island's pretty crowded. That being said, what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so my father was born in a barn. Yeah, my father was born in a barn in Italy. I can say that. I can say that. My father was born in a barn in Italy. Yeah, peasants. My father was a peasant. My grandfather was a peasant, and not for a lack of work, not working hard. Like they worked hard in Italy, and but after World War II, Italy was broke, so there was no middle class. There was just paupers and maybe some elites, royalty. And it is what it is. Yeah. Hey, look at this guy, professional. How you doing? All right?
How are your balls?
Yeah, it's good.
Good.
You forgot the S, so it sounds like you're asking about only one of my balls. You're like, how your balls?
I said how are your balls? Yeah,
I
I
didn't
didn't.
hear the S.
I said it. I said it too softly. That's on me.
Yeah. Well, you gotta say it aggressive, or it sounds kind of soft. Say no. Let's try
Yeah.
that again.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing?
How are your fucking balls?
You gotta have the S though. House.
Balls. How? How is
No.
how?
House. A S on the how, not the balls.
How are your balls?
No.
How is your balls?
No.
How
How
is the
are your
state of your
stop,
balls?
stop. How are your balls is 2451 because that's present tense. Because that means right now you want to know what my balls are doing. How's your balls is past tense. It's also past tense. It's
Oh,
also a question.
how
It's
was
not
your
a
balls?
question. It's
How you
just a
doing, Saka?
statement. It's just a statement.
How was?
No. There was no was. I never care was what your balls are doing. Never.
How's? But then it's how is your balls?
No.
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 How you doing tonight, Richie?
Yeah. 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 I'll tell you what. I am in Junction City, Kansas, uh, and I'm in Aldi's parking lot next to my hotel, next to a Dollar Tree, next to a Walmart. It's a big city out here.
That sounds like every other city in America, right?
Well, you had yeah, okay, you had to kind of come here because it was about a 6.5 hour ride, right? And
Okay.
the moment we left, once you get past like the airport in Colorado, the Denver airport, which is really kind of the eastern part of the Denver area,
Mhm,
it's nothing for 6.5 hours. And what I mean by nothing is maybe every hour there's a town. But when you see when you can see the town from the highway, and you see
mhm.
one McDonald's, like one church, like one maybe two gas stations. Only what I'm saying though,
Right.
and like that's pretty much it. Like little tiny towns. I mean, not much there. You know what I'm saying though. So from Denver to Kansas, I could say this: to Junction City is one of the most boring drives you could do in America. No, no, and I don't mean this like in a negative way. I'm just saying all there was cornfields for 6.5 hours. Uh, the rotating what do you call it?
Windmill?
Windmills that look like just fucking little pinwheels. That
Yeah.
and if those windmills things worked, why do electric bills go up? Why haven't they gone down? They're lying. They're stealing the electricity. They built the windmills, but we're not getting any of the benefits. So yeah, electric energy sounds great from the windmill. Let me know when your power bill go down. Did your power bill go down? No. Let me give you a hint. It rhymes with no. Okay.
Mo.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that being said, so that's all you see for 6.5 hours is fucking corn. Your windshield you can't see because all these bugs are getting smashed against your windshield. Like there's suicidal bugs, like massive butterflies and massive bugs. So like your windshield, you're doing 85 the whole way. There's no traffic, so that you got that going for you. But there's nothing out there. Well, I can't stress it's the longest stretch I think in America. You can go 6.5 hours without seeing nothing but corn. Um, and in between that, at some points, like every half hour or an hour, there'll be a picture of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in the cornfield holding a piece of corn. And I'm not being sacrilegious. It'll be a big, beautiful painting. It was a big, like, look at a picture, like a 40-foot wall painted black. And then, like, in the middle was like, like almost like, it's like that kind of a style, like a Mother Mary style, like that, and then they're in the middle, like, you know what I'm saying, though? And like there's like light
Sure.
coming out of it, and it was Jesus, and he's holding a piece of corn like he's inspecting it. And and then on the and you're sitting there, I don't know how to feel because I'm like, I
That's
didn't
kind
read
of
that part
pushing
in
it,
the
isn't it?
Bible, but what's that?
Yeah. That's kind of pushing it, isn't it?
Well, I didn't
It's
read that
just
part
on
in
the
the
border.
Bible, but at the same time, what they're saying is God's watching over their corn. They love God. They love corn. Um, but it's also, I think there should be a little more caption to it. I'm not sure. Um, But it also they would be like little signs though every once in a while, like a sign like 4 feet big, and it'll just say it said it said something like to the effect of like kill your bad ideas, not your children, or it would just say abortion kills kids, but it would just be a sign, but all there was a cornfield. So you're like, who's having an abortion over here? Like you know what I'm saying? Because when you're in the middle of the cornfield, there's nothing there. You start getting freaked out. You're like, what's you know you know what I'm saying? No, like what's their
Sure,
target
yeah.
audience? What's their target audience? Like, you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah. No, and is their target audience consistent? Are they seeing
I
the
don't know.
same people in the middle of
I don't
desolate
know, but then
cornfields?
and then you'll have a giant sign, like a 40-foot sign, of just a big Glock, and it'll say Billy Bob's gun store, next exit. And you're like, all right. Like, you know what I'm saying though? Like and I don't even know if he got permission, from Glock to but it was like a hand spray painted Glock. It wasn't even like so it looked like if a 4-year-old drew a Glock and you're like,
Yeah.
this is an advertisement for a firearm. Like it's just like yeah, Glock. Go see Billy Bob.
It's funny, and at the same time, it's kind of a beautiful depiction of America.
Yeah,
And often there's some drives like that in California, which aren't nearly as long or
yeah,
littered with religious symbolism and conservative slogans, but definitely still big open fields with nothing going on and lots of the
yeah.
pinwheel windmills. It's I don't know. It's something. Sometimes I think about it's special that we get to see it now. In the future, looking back at it, it would be a beautiful moment. It would be something that is specific to our time period. So I don't know. Does that make sense?
Well, I think it's like this. In these big open areas where you think you see nothing. But Anthony P, why does Anthony P have a wrench? I took it away. Hold on. Okay. Anthony P's got
Maybe he comes in with what a stupid place.
Anthony P's got a wrench. Here's the thing. I think what I realize is in these big open areas with nothing there, well, we say there's nothing, right? But all there is God's creation. So people that live there, maybe they feel content on the inside with God, and they're okay with the outside of them having nothing. Where then you live in people in cities, they're not content on the inside, so they have to have everything on the outside. Buses, skyscrapers, delivery, fucking, what I'm saying, though, airports and massive police stations and, what I'm saying, though, and all that kind of shenanigans. You know what I'm saying, though? Homelessness,
Sure.
pizzerias, and diarrheas and prostitutes, whatever. So what if places where there's a lot going on the outside is full of people that are empty on the inside, and people that have had enough of those areas, they're simplified on the outside, so they want to simplify on the outside. On the inside, you get what I'm saying, though?
I think
Like,
that I think that in the way that we ate from the tree of knowledge, and we were whole before that, and then we have to reach a state of enlightenment through knowledge now that we have knowledge. And what I mean to say by that is you can feel whole simply by having religion or a relationship with an experience of God or whatever. But there's a lot to truly feeling whole and having everything firing on all cylinders. And where is that possible and who is that possible for? I'm not sure.
well, I mean, clearly there's good and bad people in both areas. It's not like everyone that lives in the woods or in the farm
Hmm.
fields is a saint. And there's going to be a small percentage that are going to be crazy or a serial killer. And then at the same time, everyone in the city is not a criminal either. There's doctors, there's good people, policemen, and construction workers, teachers. And even if there's some homeless people that might not be terrible people, where they're just down their luck, but
Hmm.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? So my
Hmm.
point is this: I think no matter where you go, it doesn't define the people, but
Hmm.
it doesn't define the people, but it's kind of like on a video game. You're the same player, but depending what the video game offers, like what level of
Right.
Mario you're on, you're gonna have to respond differently to what challenges you have. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
Like if
absolutely.
you're on a water level of Mario, you're gonna have to swim. If you're on a flying level Mario, you have to fly. So
Right.
you gotta say you're still Mario, you're still the
Right.
same player. Does that
Right.
make any sense? Does that make sense?
And what
So
what
it's
I'm
almost like
saying is,
you're
yeah,
an avatar of yourself, and you wherever you were at, if you're good, you're good no matter where you go, but you have to adapt to that
right.
situation. But some situations are better than others and worse than others. You could be a good person, but if you're surrounded by criminals, it might rub off on you, or guilty by
Sure.
association.
Sure. I think that my current view of becoming whole in a certain way is, let's say you're on the water level and you can collect a coin, and on the flying level you can collect a star or a mushroom or whatever. You have to collect all of those things eventually to truly feel complete and reach, you know, everything. I think it's on the inside and on the outside.
Yeah,
But you're right. People are lacking in different areas, and you get different things in different places.
yeah. No, I mean, for example, let me explain something to you. When you're in the city, you might see people that are not really rich, but they pretend to be. Like there are
Hmm.
people that are really rich, but more people like in like let's say you go to Denver or you go to New York, there are more people that are pretending that
Hmm.
are let's say meaning if you're middle class but you're trying to pretend like you're Kim Kardashian if you're a girl, you're phony, right? So but on the outside they might have nice clothes and everything, all that stuff, nice jewelry, but their credit cards are maxed out, meaning they
Hmm.
can't afford the lifestyle they're living.
Hmm.
For example, I was at my hotel and I was talking to a lady that works at the register. A nice lady. You could tell she lived a little bit of a hard life with drugs, but she seemed like she cleaned up and she's working. She really was really nice. But you could tell when people lose their teeth because they did like meth or something like that. But she really was a nice person. You could tell she probably had a hard life, but now she's cleaned herself up, whatever. But
Hmm.
so, anyways, I was talking to her. I said, "Oh, how's this barbecue place next door? I'm gonna pick it up for the missus." And she said, "Oh, I don't know about that, sir." I'm like, "What do you mean? You never went there? It's right across the street." She's like, "Oh, I'm too poor for that place, sir." I said, "Really?" She's like, "Oh, that's too much for me. I can't go over there. I can't afford that. I'm too poor." She said, "I've been poor my whole life." And I'm like, "It's just a barbecue restaurant." But it humbled me for a second that like there are people that are on a lower level than me, because I'm thinking I'm just regular middle class, right? There are people on a much lower level, and she was so humble about it. She admitted to it. How honest is she? She's not that fake girl wearing Gucci she can't afford. Now, if you can afford Gucci, fine. But what I'm saying is, if
Sure.
you're pretending, like if I rent a Lamborghini and I really can't afford it, right? The point is, this person, yeah, she can't afford that stuff, but she's honest about it. Like, so, yeah, the world had nothing on her.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? No, and I didn't even. It's just like, oh, how was that place? Oh, I can't go there, sir. I'm too poor. I can't afford that. I almost started crying. I wanted to buy her a barbecue sandwich, but
Yeah.
then I don't want her to be like, why are you flexing on me? You know what I'm saying? Like, or
Yeah.
like she feels she owes me, and she's like, oh yeah,
um,
yeah.
but yeah, no,
Does
it's
that make any sense? That analogy?
absolutely, well, yeah, and I think knowing where you are is so important, and I think having a realistic view um, is one of the components, right? That's one of the things that one has to pick up at some point, I think. Otherwise, you're just living in delusion.
Yeah, interesting. Some people are saying they don't know what's going on. Guys, this is a deep conversation. Listen, everyone shut the fuck up. Every time I have a different episode, different vibes are gonna happen. When I have when I have our guest on, what's your name again? PG? When PG's on, it's deep conversation that doesn't have to mean anything, although it means something to me. But if you're not following along, smoke a cigar, shut the fuck up, and have a good time, baby. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Flex on these haters. Flex on these haters. It is what it is. What are you smoking?
Fortunately, we have the Camacho Nicaragua, which
Nice.
hopefully will be a stupid, powerful cigar and will move the mood in the correct
What
direction for
size you
the.
got? Robusto?
Yeah, I got the Robusto.
Okay,
What
I
do you
got a
got?
Toro. I cut the cap off a couple hours
Got
because I
you.
wanted to breathe. Believe it or not, I can't move it. At the same time, the cigar is not extremely wet. How's your pack? My pack is pretty full.
My pack is very full. It's looking very firm. Do you see that?
Yeah, I'm
This
getting more
is
of a. I'm getting more cookies and salt, like almost like a cookie dough and salt.
yes, cookie dough. I didn't pick that up. I was almost thinking like graham cracker,
I can see a little bit of that, but
but
it has more
but you're
pungent,
right.
like sugary sweetness.
But yeah, the cookie dough salt is bigger than the graham cracker.
Oh, I want to tell you something too before I start the episode. I got to close the window so I can light my match because it's a little windy out.
There's
I
a
was going
little
to
bit
go
of
in
a
the
floral
gazebo
too.
here,
Yeah,
but I'm a little safer in the car. No one can sneak up on me.
yeah,
I got the Quattro Cinco on me, and it is what it is.
yeah.
But what I'm going to try to say is when we got to town,
Hmm.
she bought the puppy, right? We met at the police station, like in the
Hmm.
parking lot. And the woman brought out the dog. She gave her the money. It was like a puppy deal. Like people testing the puppy in the paw.
Yeah,
They're like, it's good. It's good. Like,
yeah,
like testing.
yeah, yeah. Say arf,
Yeah,
arf.
yeah.
Okay, we're good. Yeah.
So long story short, um, after she leaves, we're making a left out of the police station, and on the
Hmm.
next block over, picture it's like a little town. Like a town with like six big streets on it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
No. Long story short, right behind the police station, literally 50 fucking bikers, and I'm not talking about like lawyers that on the weekend are going for a
Sure,
cruise. I'm
sure,
talking
sure.
about bikers, 1%.
Motorcycle club. Yeah.
No, 1%ers. Like no joke. It looked like something out of Sons of Anarchy, but if it was real, like not like a TV show. And I just stopped the car and I was like, "We're not going nowhere. Let them," because they were doing a thing and they were circling the bar, and then they were like backing up into their parts, but like they were like revving the engines and doing the whole thing. And there was girls outside like just dancing and twerking. Not twerking, but they're white, but
Sure,
like
sure.
they're shaking their
Moving.
ass, dancing as best as a white girl could. And I was just sitting there like just sit here. I was like, Lauren, pet the puppy, pet the puppy. She's sitting there with a 2 pound chihuahua. You know what I'm saying? Though all I had was a Quattro Cinco, but they weren't a threat to me. I'm just saying, but I was like, we
Sure.
don't need to get involved in this. I'm in a Corolla, and I just paid
Right.
it off. Okay, I don't need this shit. Okay, so I mean, I got the sport mode, but I don't know if it's fair. That's not, okay. So, anyways, long story, no joke, at least 50 of them, and then we left there, and then when I came here, I asked her about that, and she said, "Oh yeah, they do big gatherings in this town, a lot of different clubs, and they all meet up to clubs that are connected. And there wasn't just one patch on the back. There was all different kinds of patches. You know what I'm saying? No, so it was a group of groups. Does that make any sense?
Right, right, right.
So this was, dude, this was a big shindig. Like if you saw like 5 Hell's Angels hanging out at a bar, like most people would be like, or like just leave them alone, right? Don't be an idiot, dude. No, 50 of them together. It was like something out of a movie. All I
Yeah,
could tell you was the police weren't going over there. They're minding their fucking business. Like,
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Well,
so.
fortunately, you're
Anyways,
smoking a cigar. I think they probably take pity on you, but
yeah, yeah. But it is what it is.
this is
Yeah,
very interesting. The super saltiness, there's like a little bit of floral and a little bit of graham cracker, I feel, but other than that, you're right on.
I'm not
I
getting coral.
Yeah,
Coral. I'm not getting
floral at all?
no, not coral. Caramel. Because I said coral because of
Yeah,
floral and caramel. Did you see
gotcha,
that?
gotcha.
The slip.
Yeah,
So, but we're gonna see how this is different. The main thing is I want to review it, but I want to
yeah,
compare it to the Nicaragua because
gotcha.
I'm sorry, to the broadleaf because it
Right.
is a similar color as far as the band, but it is one of the new. This is older than the
This
broadleaf.
is this is from 2000, yeah, or sorry, 2020. I'm gonna do a V cut on this because I think yours is a 6 by 50, right?
Yeah, no,
So
maybe 52, maybe
mine's
52.
50. Oh, really?
Yeah, mine's this is bigger than 50. No way.
Interesting. All right, then I'll do a. Okay, I'm gonna do a V cut. I like the V cut on anything above 50. I like a V cut.
That's interesting. I feel bad for you.
You don't like that? You don't think that's right?
That's your business. I don't give a shit.
All right, my fault. Oh wow, cold draw has a lot of spice on it.
All right. All right. Let me get this window open. Okay. Initial impression. And this initial impression
Yeah.
is not as strong as the broadleaf off the bat. That's just
Hmm.
initial. I'm not saying it's a weak cigar, but just initial impression. Um, and granted, too, remember when I bought the broadleaf, I
Hmm.
smoked it that day, so it wasn't like I gave that like
Hmm.
6 days of dry boxing. What's up, Evan? How you doing, Uncle Larry? What's up, Cuatro Cinco? Okay, I take that back. It picked up right there.
Hmm.
That's what I love about cigars, like because Richie's honest. Like
Right.
I meant what I said before, and then also right there it was like it picked up, like right there. The right there is really important. Right there is just as important as soft gentle heat or tension for camping. Like right there is important. Right, when you say right there, you're making like a legal decree and like stamping it with your stamp because they can see by how far along, and you know what I'm saying. No, so you can kind of give someone an
Right.
example what to expect or what not to expect. You might say, "Hey, I didn't get that." Oh well, whatever. It's a man-made product. So, um, okay, off the bat, it's a totally different cigar than the Camacho broadleaf.
Hmm.
If you love the broadleaf, I'm not saying you're not gonna like this. What I'm just saying is, it's just a totally different cigar. So you can't say I love the broadleaf, so I'm gonna love this. I mean, this is a good cigar. It's not as sweet as the broadleaf has so much caramel and so much rock salt. This feels a little more of a darker experience and definitely a less sweet experience. Um, and at this point, it might be a little stronger. So it just has a different vibe. The broadleaf is a dessert caramel sea salt cigar. Period. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens. Now, hold on a second. I'm just gonna move my car. Give me 1 second. See, that's the thing. Other channels, you don't get to drive with the guy. Here's what it is.
Yeah, he
Okay,
drives without you, dude.
what's that?
He drives without you.
Here's what it is. There's nobody
Yeah.
here. Where's everyone?
I guess they just wanted to know if it was like the broadleaf.
All right, here's the thing. It's stronger than the broadleaf.
Really?
Right there where I'm at, it's darker and stronger. So here's the thing. If you had the broadleaf and that's too strong for you, the Nicaragua is going to be stronger. I'm not saying it's a lot stronger, but it is stronger. And being that it's stronger and being that it's a darker blend and being that it's less sweet, it has a more of a presence. You know what I'm talking? You can have a cigar pushing medium full, but if it has so much caramel sweetness, you're like, oh my goodness. Like, it's like picture like getting drunk off champagne. Like you're getting fucked up, but you're like, champagne's fun. You know what I'm saying though? But
Yeah,
if
I
you,
think
if you
so.
try to drink, half a bottle of whiskey, it's a different vibe. Does that make any sense? Because like champagne gives you so much like sugar.
Dude, this thing is so salty. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but you're not getting a lot of salt and pepper, but you're not getting the caramel. And I shouldn't be saying
Yeah,
that because I keep on comparing it to the broadleaf, and that's
right.
like when you're the second born son, and you're like, your brother was a little smarter than you. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm kind of shitting on this cigar
Yeah,
uh, overtly. Does that make any sense? But at the
yeah,
same time, when you just reviewed a cigar from the same brand 2 weeks ago,
right,
you kind of want to see how it stacks up. And I'll
right.
say this off the bat, I'm telling you, the broadleaf I like better. That
Hmm.
being said, though, this is a different vibe. It's a stronger, heavier vibe and a less sweet vibe. So if I wanted a more robust, heavier cigar, um, a darker cigar, I guess a little more ballsy, then this is better than the broadleaf. If you want just decadence, cover me in caramel, baby, and smack my balls in rock salt, then you get the broadleaf. I mean, that's serious.
Smack it in rock salt.
Mhm.
This thing is the broadleaf saltier than this? This is the saltiest cigar I've ever smoked.
Um, it's kind of right there. The difference is with the broadleaf, the rock salt, the sea salt is covered in caramel, so it
Yeah,
kind of masks it. Does that make any sense?
yeah.
So either way, though, they're both okay. Connections. They're both strong cigars. The Nicaraguan's just stronger. The Nicaraguan's darker. They're both salty cigars, but you notice it more on this one because that caramel sticky sweetness covers the whole cigar. That's what you taste first on every puff. You haven't done the broadleaf yet?
I'm
I'll
getting a
say
little.
this.
Yeah,
After you light a cigar up, then obviously you can feel if it has a little too much moisture.
yeah,
It's smoking fine, but it's definitely a little soft right here. That's
yeah.
not the cigar's fault. I would have liked if I could have left this out for a night. You know what I'm saying? No, or a day in Colorado. I'm not in Colorado. I'm not going to say I'm at sea level, but I'm not at 6,000 feet, a mountain and dry, with no humidity. So it's much more humid down here, and this cigar is definitely in a more moist condition that I'd like to. That being said, it's still stronger and darker. So I can't imagine if I could have left this out for a day or
Yeah, it's
two
still
in
not lit.
Colorado
Hmm.
with dryness. You know what I'm saying though? In a way, I kind of wish I would have saved it for tomorrow night and let it dry out in Colorado. But we're here. I wanted to do a review, and nobody gives a shit, right, Sako?
Dude, tons of salt and pepper. Like, and also for me, like a little bit of like meat or like jerky. You get that at all?
That happens on cigars where you with the salt with a lot of saltiness and smokiness because we didn't talk about that, but the cigar definitely has a charred wood taste. When you have like a charred wood and a lot of rock salt, what does that remind you of? Well, what does like a charred salami or charred meat have? You know what I'm saying though? Or even a pepper
Yeah.
jack turkey where it has like the char. You know what I'm saying though? Hey, what's up, Gary? How you doing? I just figured out how to part of the chat. He says he's a retard. That's okay. Welcome to the club.
How does he have a wrench if he's never been part of the chat?
Hey, leave the guy alone. He says he's
Sorry,
retarded. All right, leave him
sorry,
alone.
sorry.
Leave him alone. So we're smoking the Camacho. I would say this though, just gun to the head. Is this a good cigar? It is a good cigar. This is a good cigar. I got nothing bad to say about it. It's robust. It's 3/4 strength for me right now. It's 3/4 darkness, maybe almost a little more. But so it's darker than the broadleaf, but not like massively darker. But it's still a little darker, and it's heavier though. The finish right now off the bat is very heavy and long for me. How's your finish?
Still going. Really, really strong. I think the only thing about this I could say is I'm not getting any creaminess or sweetness. There's a lot of flavor, but it's all
Not
on
much
that.
sweetness. Not
Yeah,
much sweetness on this, and that's okay. To me, it almost feels like, in a way, a tweaked habano. This Ecuadorian wrapper, and it might be an Ecuadorian habano wrapper on this. It's not a Nicaraguan cigar. And let me explain to you. First off, it's rolled
right,
indoor. Second of
right.
all, it's an Ecuadorian wrapper, Ecuadorian Wato. It's probably Ecuadorian habano, in my opinion. The binder was not Nicaraguan. The binder was
Honduras,
what? Was the
Honduras.
binder what? Honduran?
Uh-huh.
And then the fillers was Honduran, Dominican. No, the fillers was Nicaraguan,
Honduran
Dominican,
and Dominican.
and Nicaraguan,
The big
Dominican,
three. Yeah, big three.
and Honduran. Okay.
Yep.
So what they did here, though, and not to knock anyone, what they did here is what Cohiba did. When the Cohiba Nicaragua came out, it had a Honduran wrapper. And everyone made fun of it. Like, it's cool, Cohiba Nicaragua. The point was, that was, I think, the first Cohiba to be made in Nicaragua. But you get what I'm trying to say, though. So, and also, Cohiba never really used Nicaraguan tobacco at all. So they used any Nicaraguan tobacco when that came out. That's why they were trying to cash in on Nicaragua, right? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, before AJ Fernandez, what was the stamp for a strong cigar? Just say Nicaragua. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's calmed down a lot because, you don't, let's say going back even 5 years ago, how many cigars you would see? CAO, Nicaragua, Monte
Right.
Cristo, Nicaragua. Like that was just like, it's almost like guys in like these companies, they go through a fad and
Right.
it's what's popular right now. Picture like racing stripes on a car. They really don't do it no more. They were popular for a time.
It was super hyped, but I think it's just become the standard now. I think you just assume any new release that comes out, it's probably going to be Nicaraguan at this point, like unless it's Davidoff or
I gotta
Fuente.
say that the burn doing this is two things. One, the cigar's too wet. That's not the cigar's fault. That's my fault for not letting it dry out. Two, it is a little windy out, and when you smoke out and it was a little windy, it's gonna fuck it up. So I'm gonna give this cigar a complete pass on the burn. That's not its fault. If this cigar was dried out for 2 days and it still had an issue, then it's the cigar's fault. But I could feel how soft it is right here. Um, it's amazing once
Yeah.
you light a cigar up, if there's a little excess moisture in it,
Right.
you can feel it. Does that
Right
make any
away. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like applying for a job that you were not qualified for, and you got the job, and you go soft. You're like, yeah, we
Yeah.
need that report by Monday. You're like,
So much salt, so much pepper, charred wood, almost
yeah.
charred meat. For me, almost like a hint of something that's like nearing floral, but not quite floral, but
All I can
intense.
say is it is a good cigar, but with the caveat, it's not easy to love. Like the broadleaf is easy to love because who doesn't like caramel, rock salt, and and black pepper? I mean, it's like a caramel candy bar, like a
Yeah.
caramel candy bar if it was in a pretzel or something like that. That being said, this is more, I would say, of a manlier smoke, like more of an old school blend where it's like, forget about the sugar, no sweetness, but tons of rock salt. I've got a lot of black pepper, charred wood. It's more of a robust,
Yeah.
darker blend, more of against the grain, if that makes any sense. And I see no problem with it if you're in this kind of mood. I think it's a bolder, stronger cigar for Camacho. And being that most of the time when you label something Nicaragua, people expect it to be strong. I find no fault in the naming. How about yourself?
Yeah. I think when I was looking at the components, I felt strongly that it's not a Nicaraguan cigar. But if you're saying Nicaraguan is strong, it is strong. So fair enough. Fair
Does
play to
that make
that.
any sense? It's kind of like you give the people what they want.
Yeah. No,
Even
for
though
sure.
most people are not going to look at the blend, but when they see AJ Fernandez or when they see
Right.
Nicaragua, what do they expect? A strong cigar.
Right.
So
I smoked the CAO Nicaragua. Very mild. It didn't hit it on the Nicaragua, and it's also one of those
I
blend.
tried that cigar 2 times. I'm not a fan of that cigar. And so there you go. I'm not
Me
just a
either.
general fanboy. That's one of the generals that doesn't do it for me. You know what they had though at this cigar shop? they had CLMX2, and it was an empty box almost. And the guy said, "Oh, we sell out of those." So it goes to show you, somewhere in the Midwest, they're selling a lot
Yeah.
of CLMX2
Nice.
because I think in the Midwest, it's not like going to get tons of Liga Number 9 sales. You know what I'm saying, though? Like, like there wasn't tons of like high-end cigars in there,
Right.
but in the mid-tier stuff, like MX2 is a solid offering in a lounge for like $10. You know,
If people are saying barbecue is too expensive for them, MX2 is a good cigar. You know what I mean? That's reasonable.
Like, you must be rich. You know what I'm saying, though? No, and that's why I think things are all relative, right? I mean,
Right.
wherever you think you are, if you're in America, you're still rich compared to if you're like in India or somewhere in a third, other part of the country. I'm sorry, the world where people, are really poor. Now there are some billionaires there, but most of the people are living in poverty. It's a very sad situation. I had
Mine's
to touch
fine.
that up. That's not the
Yeah.
cigar's fault. The cigar's just too wet. So that's a caveat. It still tastes fine. It's going fine. It's not the cigar's fault. I really wish I could have dried it out. But
Mine's finally almost lit. So
what's wrong
that's
with
good.
yours?
Nothing. I just suck at lighting cigars. So it is what it is. But now it's doing good.
I think
Lots
you're too gentle on the
lots of
cigar.
smoke. Dude, I was
Why
just
just
puffing. I was puffing straight on a triple torch. You see me? I went for it.
listen? When people say only Fuente is Fuente and only Saco is Saco, well, only PG can smoke a cigar like PG. I mean, that's a gift. It's a gift.
Thank you. I guess. I this to me hit me right off the bat. It was like right there, like right at the beginning, right there. You know what I mean? Salt, pepper, just bang. Charred meat, charred wood, powerful. Um, it's to me now it's settling into something a little bit more.
Mm.
Thanks, Anthony. A little bit more.
Anthony is not a beacon of light. Regardless, he's still a beacon. You know. And I'm sorry I cut you off. What'd you say, my friend?
I'm getting more flavors, more complexity, more mid range. Not so much just the salt, pepper top note, bang bang.
Do you think it's going to calm down after the first third?
I actually do think it's going to calm down a little bit. That's the way mine is going. Yeah, it's calming down a bit. It's getting more into that range. It's more reminds me of the Costa Cuba a little bit. Because at first it was just like overbearing, like the Corojo, the Camacho Corojo.
Right. I would say it's a better cigar than the Camacho Corojo, though, which is
Easily.
It's a more sophisticated cigar. It's a more expensive cigar. You could just tell if you smoke the Camacho Corojo, which is not bad for Corojo, for $7 at a lounge. But this at $12, and I'm not going by the price. I'm just going by the cigar. Now, of course, it costs more, but it is the better cigar. I feel that this and the broadleaf are equal as far as being a higher quality cigar than what they were doing with the Ecuador or the Corojo or the Connecticut. The regular band, which they're fine. But when you get it for $7 in a lounge, okay. It's almost like they were the Camacho Inspirados, like for Macanudo,
Right.
They're fine everyday cigars. This is definitely a higher tier. Obviously, the broadleaf's easy to love. If you want fucking gobs of caramel and like drizzle with rock salt and black pepper, then you're gonna have a blast. That being said, this is a bolder cigar. So for Camacho as well, I'm not going to carry the ash because this cigar was so wet that the ash is very flaky. You notice that when the cigar is more wet, the ash is heavier, so it flakes.
I'm starting to get a little chocolate or caramel, but just like just a little bit, and it's just in the background. So it's starting to balance out as well for me.
For me, right here, the rock salt is really getting so. It's at this point right here, the saltiness on mine. I mean, it's like, dude, it's like picture if you were eating like a really good like rock pretzel rods with like too much salt. But if you were not eating the pretzel, if you just were like licking the salt and throwing the pretzel out and just kept on doing that, and then like 5 in, you're like, I need some water. That's where I'm at right now. So this is an extremely salty cigar. Some guys might like that. I have no problem with it because it's a rich experience. I find that even if it's a blend that I'm not crazy about, if you give me something that's just a rich, pure experience, I can't fault you on that. Like if you were getting tons of rock salt and earth, hey, well, if that's what the fuck you want, at least it literally reminds me of two tangible things. I respect that. Maybe it's not something I have all the time, you know.
Right. I think it's a higher level cigar than the triple Maduro as well. I think I prefer the triple Maduro in terms of bang for your buck and what you're getting because I think the triple Maduro is a good blend. But I think this definitely feels a little bit more high end, more complex, more going on.
Right there, sun changed a little bit. Right there, got stronger too. Ooh, shit.
Wow.
Right there, I'm almost at full strength. Right there.
Yeah, I
Oof.
think
Oh, dude, right there, so much charred wood, like
yeah,
tons of charred wood. Like I mean, more than before. Just like if I was at your house and you were a butcher, and in your backyard you had a garage and you just were charring meat, which sounds kind of 451. But you know what I'm saying though. If you're like, oh, I'm smoking my meat, which sounds even more 51. You know, but you know what I'm saying though. And they're like, oh, can we go check out your smoked meat section? You're like,
yeah,
yeah, look how much smoked meat I got, baby.
yeah.
You know,
Just more 5-1. Yeah.
yeah. And then your mom's like, "What are you boys doing out there?" Like, "We're just smoking our meat," you know. Dude, that really got me, man. She says, "I'm too poor for that house, sir, for that
Mm,
restaurant, sir."
yeah.
I felt like an asshole. I felt like a sultan, like eating golden steak in front of like you know someone. I'm like, "Oh, you mean you never went here?" You know, like you it's just a burger like barbecue place, you know. I felt so bad. All I can say is, I guess, just count your blessings and don't ever complain for whatever you have, because
Right.
somebody has less and somebody has a lot less. You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
A lot less. I'm not talking about going through things in life. I'm just talking about what you have tangible. How much money or car or no car or
Sure.
clothes or what, you know, or you
I'm
got two guns and you're like, oh, I wish I had 100 guns. Whatever. Somebody out there doesn't have a gun. Somebody out there can't have a gun. Somebody out there doesn't even have a hand. Uh, what if you were rich and you had no hands? What guns can you have? All of them. What can you do with them? You can look at them. Big whoop.
I think and she probably hopefully has something good in her life as well, right? So,
Well, she has a job. You know, I mean, she has obviously have money there. I mean, you know what I'm saying though? Like, whatever. I mean, like, it could be worse too, right? I mean, you could be destined. She obviously
right.
has her stuff together enough where she can go to work, which means you're gainfully employed and at your job, you have running water, right? If you work at a hotel, even if you're in a bad place, you could shower at the hotel. No one would know. Like, you know what I'm saying though? Like, you know, I mean, it could be worse, you know,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I agree. So
And since
important to
I've been
be
here,
grateful.
she's had two different people like like when I first got there, and then when we would get our bags, then two people came in that were her friends from the town, and she's like, "Oh, John, oh, whatever," and they went outside, they'll hang outside, and they had a drink together in the gazebo. So yeah, maybe she's not rich, so she enough to go to the restaurant, but she has friends come to visit her work, and they're having a beer in the fucking gazebo. You know what? So like, you know, so she must be a good, down to earth, simple person. Where her friends stop by at her job and they have a drink in the gazebo right outside the front door. To me,
Yeah.
that's a pretty cool, simple, small
Yeah.
town kind of vibe. That's not gonna happen in New York City. You're like, oh,
Right.
Vito, how you doing? Let's go have an anisette outside. Like, you know, but like you're outside the Holiday Inn. Like you're sitting there like, and you're on work hours. They'd be like, yo, what the fuck? You're on the clock. You know what I'm saying? They're like so, you know, like you could get away with that in small town America. You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So it's a give and a take.
Blessed are the meek, for they'll inherit the earth. You know, it is what it is. So that's all I'm saying though. So I think wherever you're at, you could have a reset and just you know, I think humility is important. And I wasn't even. I was trying to just be nice to have a conversation, but that moment I'll never forget that. I'm too poor to go to that place, sir. And she
Yeah.
wasn't even being an asshole about it. She's like, no, I'm too poor for that place. I can't afford that.
Yeah.
She said, I'm poor. You know, and I just, you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah. It's tough for me. It's kind of beyond words. You know what I mean? It just hits you a certain way.
Yeah. Right. And I'm going to complain. Well, my cigar's a little wet right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, you know, um, it is what it is.
I want to say, despite you saw the pack on mine, really tight pack, and we commented on that. But my draw is like really almost open, frankly. I mean, it's really not, Yeah,
I
I
would
would
say
say it's like
mine's open, but generally Camachos are very passive cigars, but they pull though. Is yours pulling?
pulling how?
Like when you actually puff on it, is it pulling?
It's producing a lot of smoke and there's a lot of throughput. I mean, the draw is really open.
Right. So when you say open, if a cigar is open, but so you're puffing on it, nothing's happening, that's a bad thing. So in this case, if you're puffing on it, it's just so easy. As long as something's happening though, because that's
Yeah,
what's called an effortless draw. Almost when
gotcha.
you're too open, but it's if it's keeping up with your puffing, then it's not a bad draw. Does that make any sense?
Right. Yeah, understood. I never thought about it like that.
Right. So resistance is what's happening against, I guess, you puffing,
Hmm.
but as long as something's happening per puff, what you're doing, you can't say it's not keeping up. If it's not keeping
Yeah.
up, I had that happen where you're puffing and there's no resistance, and it's not keeping up, it's going out. There's something wrong with that cigar. It's almost like there's a break in the line. I would say the cigar has really simplified for me. It's got stronger though, tons
Yeah.
of charred wood, dark
Yep.
black pepper, and,
Yep.
and an immense amount of rock sea salt. And when I
Yeah.
say immense, immense, immense.
It's like licking salt. It's
Underneath that, there
crazy.
might be some earth, but the earth's getting smothered in rock salt.
Yeah.
So, and once again, if you love rock salt, you're gonna love this cigar. If you want a stronger cigar on the 3/4 side, that's very heavy, strong, with too much salt. Um, did you ever have a salted bagel? And I'm not asking you because you're Jewish. I'm just saying, have you ever had a salted bagel?
I
You
love
know,
a salted bagel.
yeah. Well, I'm
Salt
in New
bagel's the
York.
best.
In New York, everyone in the morning is Jewish because everyone has bagels, and
Yeah.
in New York, everyone in the afternoon's Italian because they fucking have pizza.
Yeah.
And on Friday night, everyone's Irish because they all go to Irish bars on Friday night.
Nice.
Every bar is like, oh, McDowell's fucking bar, or like McDonough's bar, or we're going down to Shamrocks or whatever. Every Friday night is nothing but wannabe Italians fighting at an Irish bar. And then afterwards they go to Italian pizzeria at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then you have guys coming from an Irish bar, and then go and then pretending to be Italian. So in New York is really this for the most part is Italians, is Jews, and is Irish as far as the majority. The big three: Nicaragua, Honduran, and Dominican. You know what I'm saying? Though
Yeah.
that's the big three in New York. It really is. I'm talking about Long Island, the New York City area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not like when you go to New York City, you're gonna find a lot of you know, Indian bars, or like,
Yeah.
believe it or not, though, in Long Island, there was a really cool fucking Indian nightclub. It was called what the fuck the name was it? It was in Stony Brook, where there is a big Chinese and Indian American, not Indian American, Indian, whatever, Indian community. And it was called the Curry Club. And they would, at nighttime, they'd turn into a fucking a nightclub. And they'd have like DJs and like Indian DJs, which I don't know. I feel like if I make, I don't know, I make fun of everyone, but I just, hey, my friend, yes, get ready for 50 Cent in the club. Too hot, my friend. Yes. Like, after, I don't know.
It's a
Uh,
different look. It's not the same. It comes in at
but
a
they play a
different
lot of like the
type of
Punjab music,
culture.
which is really fucking banger. When people are
Right.
getting drunk, it's like Punji bada appa appa
Yeah. Yeah.
appa.
Yeah. You can get
I
hyped to
love
that.
that
Yeah.
fucking music. I'm
Yeah.
not even making. I fucking love that shit. When I go to 7-Elevens, like in the middle of the night in New York, when I go back to see my daughter, and those guys are playing they're playing Punjab. It's called
Yeah.
Punjabi rap music, like hardcore.
Yeah.
But they add in the gunshots at wrong timing in those music, and
Yeah.
they get
Yeah.
way too much. It'd be like Punjab,
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm like, holy
Yeah.
shit, that wasn't a drive-by, that was a war, that was a
Yeah.
genocide. Like the music's too violent. It's
It's
too
over
violent.
the top, man.
It's so yeah. It's like Punjab, the nuclear bomb just goes off. You're like,
Yeah.
your enemies are dead. So are
Yeah.
you. Everyone's dead. Everyone's
It's just like noise for 30 seconds and then it comes back. I love
Yeah,
I
it
love
just goes back to the cavemen because we have to have a reset.
they're reinventing language through the next 2 minutes.
Yeah,
And
it's like,
eventually they get back.
imagine like, the line. They're like, oh, what do they say in English? Could you interpret? Yes, I hate you so much. I'm gonna turn your village before they invented the wheel. You're like, holy shit! Like, oh shit! Like, whoa! Whoa.
beyond gangs, dude. I
Dude,
really love the
it's like, don't fuck with that guy, man.
the like Middle Eastern music. Some of it. There's a guy named Omar Soleiman, I think, and it gets you hyped in a similar way. It's really good stuff. So I feel it.
Gary said, hey, Richie, how does one send you a flex? I ain't got soccer shit, but I've been aging some decent mid-tier shit. Anthony P. Anthony P. Dude, hold on. I got to put Anthony P. in the 10-second club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, no. I didn't mean, no, I meant to put you in a timeout. Oh, shit. I got to bring him back. Okay. I somehow I banned Anthony P. Hold on. Anthony P., I just want to put you in a timeout. Okay. All right, Anthony P's getting 1 minute.
60-second club.
A lot of guys busting balls here. Busting balls. Why are people here speaking for Richie, and why are people busting fucking balls that hardcore? What happened?
I think there was a change in culture at one point, which I won't get into the specifics of.
Yeah.
But I think there was a prominent shit talker in the lounge, and I think that it increased and reverberated, and shit talking became
People feel
predominant.
that comfortable to speak for Richie. Tell me to go fuck myself, huh? So, he said, "Fight for fighting." Brother Gary, once again, Richie, I never expect anything from anyone. So, I mean, whenever people send me something, it's once again, it's just it's appreciated. So, I mean, you don't have to do anything. But if that's something you felt you had to do or you wanted to do, just email me at piano, piano, piano1983 at gmail. And if there's something you wanted me to review, then I'll review it. You know what I'm saying? No, I'll give you honest opinions. And if it's something you're saying that you aged, I'll definitely compare it to stuff that's not aged, and I'll make it more of a scientific research. Just as we saw how a little bit of time changed Padrones. Some cigars affected more than others, you know. So in that case, are Padrones more about the experience than the flavor? And I think experience on a Padrone is part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, because there's something about Padrone. It's more than just the flavor. You gotta say what makes Padrone
Right.
special is the experience. Kind of like Harleys. Well, it was other motorcycles, but people that ride Harleys are like, yeah, there are faster motorcycles or better built motorcycles, but nothing sounds and rides like a Harley. If that makes any sense, you know, say no. So,
Taco, I don't know if you could. I don't know if you could make this cigar dry. This is like one. It's heavy, man. But yeah, it is definitely wet. But I've been storing it at 65 for like
bro,
6
right
months.
now my teeth are almost starting to hurt from how much rock salt's on it. Like I am coated. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna lick your teeth right now. Oh my god. Oh wow. Like, dude, like it is so much black pepper and so much fucking rock salt. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's it, it's like when I was a kid, I'd have one one salt bagel.
Yeah,
One time I was trying to have two, and I was like, "Don't eat two salt
yeah.
bagels." I'm like, "No, I want it." By the time the second one, I was drinking so much water. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, so I told you. Now you learn your lesson. You know, when you have too much salt, it dries you out. You know.
Well, I got a big cup of water here and a extra thermos right here, so
Yeah.
I
Sacco,
came
Sacco,
prepared.
what the fuck do you want from me, Sacco? I bought this so I could review live. I bought it tonight about 4 or 5 hours ago. 1 hours ago. What do you want from me? What do you want from Richie? I'm trying to put out new content, and you're saying my cigar's too wet. I said it was too wet from the beginning. That is not my fault. I didn't have time to dry box it. I'm not in Colorado. Colorado is a dry box. Colorado's like 25% humidity. It's perfect.
Yeah,
You leave anything out for 5 hours, it's like 10 days in California dry box. I mean, that's
yeah.
serious.
I don't even know if you can. I don't even know if you can dry box in California. It's like 70 degrees humidity here. Sacco.
And he meant that as a compliment. Dude, no joke.
I think that's funny. I don't know if it's I don't think it's either. I think it's funny.
Dude, no
Yeah,
joke. That this cigar's a lot. And it's
it's
not like
crazy.
it's not like it's asking. The strength is its strength is a heavy medium full, which is strong. But it's good quality. It is very good quality.
Right.
Here's the catch. It is so much salt that I don't know if it's for everyone. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. I like it, but it's a very like rustic, salt, pungently
yeah.
salt, pungently charred wood. Picture
Yeah.
if you put a gallon of sea salt over a campfire that was already
Yeah.
going, and the charred
Yeah.
wood and the salt. You're like, oh my
Yeah.
god! It's almost
Yeah.
like you had like a soap made of sea salt. It,
And
it
it's
would
just hitting you.
it would be
Yeah.
refreshing, but it would be like when someone wears too much. The girls they wear too much of that spice. What's that called? Like
Perfume?
the hippie spice.
Oh, potpourri or something?
No, it's a hippie spice. What was it called? Too much.
Sandalwood?
No, it's a hippie spice that girls will wear too much of. It. It's like patchouli.
Okay. I gotta say, it
I'm gonna
doesn't,
drop the ash just because it's too wet.
yeah. It doesn't feel dirty. Like the
No, it doesn't.
feeling.
No,
No, no,
it's a
it
very
feels
good
clean. Yeah.
cigar. It does. You're absolutely right on that. It does not feel dirty at all.
You
I got.
you taste the flavor and you think, "Oh god, this is gonna be full strength. This might be dirty." Doesn't feel dirty, feels very clean, feels very well aged or what, you know what I mean, processed, and it's only 3 quarters, like you said, heavy 3 quarters, but it's still
Yeah.
strength, but it's not
No, but for
overwhelming
me, I
strength.
puff harder and I hold the smoke more, so I'm having a stronger experience, dude. I hold the smoke a lot, bro.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
hold, dude. I don't have the same dude. I hold the fuck. I'm going full, when you hold the smoke, you're going full contact. So you know what I'm telling you. I hold the smoke. Let me see. But every puff. Let me see. Hold that smoke. Hold it. Hey, why does your face look so small? You have a small head.
Holy dude, it's just it's just attacking everything. Everything it touches is attacking it. It burns. It's like salt.
Well, you see what I said? You just held the smoke. It's a lot
Yeah.
stronger, right?
Well, what I'm saying is the nicotine doesn't feel that strong. The flavor feels
Flavor's overbearing.
it's like 125%. It's crazy. It's like 5 quarters.
Because you don't normally get this kind of profile.
I do respect I do respect that they got a similar strength to like the Camacho Corojo. That's such an overwhelming cigar. Same thing with the Ecuador. They're so aggressive. This is very aggressive, but it feels clean. It feels
It,
more complex. It feels more interesting.
it has more age,
Yeah.
and it's a different blend. Um, I gotta admit to it. It is a great cigar. It's pungent. It reminds me of something that's good, but too much of it. So I would not do this once a week, but I'll say I would have this once a month. You know what I'm saying though? Like for a one and done night. I'm not doing any other cigar after this. I don't want. You know what I'm saying though? Like I'm gonna feel this tomorrow.
It reminds me just a little bit of the Antonio that we smoked.
Hmm.
Just a little bit because
Not the
it's
same
so
profile, but
no.
in the sense of being different
Yeah,
and pungent, whatever it has.
right.
Yeah, remember what's funny? I remember I had one or two of them though that didn't
Yeah.
feel like the other ones, which was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of them, they were funky, man. This one I don't feel funky, but it's definitely. So I would put this in the exotic category. Good point. So there's so many
Excuse
factors
me.
of my show. Definitely exotic. What I mean by exotic is nobody really does this. Nobody really does. No, you know when it says "Oops, all marshmallows" on the Captain Crunch, or all Crunch berries. You
Yeah.
know, I'm sorry, Lucky Charms. They'll say "Oops, all marshmallows." That it sounds good, but too much only marshmallows. You're like after a while, you're like, this wasn't a good idea.
Sako, it's not just a bitterness. It's not that there is like a specific dark wet cigar bitterness. That's not what's happening. It's this like extreme top note of char, like salt char, which I don't think that, I mean, maybe partially comes from wetness, but there's definitely something there that is not just um it's not just the wetness. I mean, it's a really strong, it's spicy in its saltiness. It's not salt, it's not spice, but it's so salty it's spicy.
It's like a black pepper salt. If that makes the yeah, okay, yeah, it's because normally the saltiness is on the finish. They use so much salt, the salt has become a spice. It's so much
Yeah,
salt that
yeah.
you're like, holy shit.
I am getting some underlying like Habano creaminess, caramel, but like so small. Like it's just trace.
That has to be from your micro puffing. Let me try to
Yeah,
micro. I'm
yeah.
gonna try.
Do you want me to show you how I micro puff? You want to learn the PG puff? Oh yeah. Okay. What's up, Dream Life?
Hey, Gene, how's your balls? Yeah, micro puffing is different. Dude, I don't know how you micro puff. I don't know how you micro puff.
It's good. I'm getting a little bit of a balance to it. Mine is calming down a little bit, but it's like a nice to me. It's like a nice Habano-esque cigar, well aged, but it's like underneath this behemoth of salt and pepper
Oh, dude.
and char.
Um, for me, I think it's going to be a 4.4. I think it's a very good cigar. I can't give it an amazing. It's not the broadleaf is the better cigar overall.
Yeah,
But this has stuff that broadleaf doesn't have. It's stronger. It's way more pungent. It's well, the broadleaf is pungent in caramel and sea salt, but the caramel is more pungent. So if you want pungently salt and black pepper spices with charred wood, you're gonna love this. So
yeah.
I guess I would recommend pastrami and prosciutto with this. If you were eating salted meats, you'd have a blast. I think.
What I can really respect about this cigar is it makes good on the Camacho promise.
Mm.
It's extremely strong. The flavor is extremely strong. It's extremely aggressive,
I would say more like
but
pronounced, very pronounced.
right, but very smooth feel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not harsh in
I
terms
think
of the overall
red
feel.
wine would go good with this because when people are eating salted meats or cheeses and like crackers and salt, they
This
drink
would
a red
be
wine, right? I think that constant red wine flavor would be perfect with this. Do you agree on that?
100%. That would be the perfect pairing. This would be great with this would be great with wine.
Well, the dry red wine, that'd be so nice, man.
And it would cut right through it. I would go with something a little bit sweeter. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then you're kind of getting that counterbalance and it could fill in. You talked about that previously. You can kind of fill in that part of it a little bit more grape or you know what I mean, berry, that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, I think wine would be good. I don't think beer or scotch would be good with this.
Yeah, I could try a scotch with it. I wouldn't be against trying a scotch with it, but I don't think it needs it.
Okay, but let's say you go with a really peaty, salty scotch, dude. At that point, you're salted, peated out, man.
Yeah, I don't know if you could even go halfway. You know what I mean? You probably just put it down.
You know, like, at that point, that morning, you're gonna wake up and be like, "Oh, just kill me." You know what I'm saying? Though it
Have
depends what you want to do. I think the cigar is pushing you forward, and the red wine would pull you back a little bit. If you
yeah,
go with scotch, it's kind of like someone with a bad idea, and your
yeah,
friend's like, "This is a really cool bad idea," and you
yeah,
both go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I think right now what I'm getting off of it is it's smoothing out a little bit. I'm getting that regular more habano on the draw, and then that finish is just like peaks with that salt. It's crazy.
So that's a long.
Yeah, really long finish, like 30 seconds.
But not just long, but heavy. You understand the heaviness. Picture the heaviness like there's like weight on your tongue, like you know what I'm saying. No, like it's there, like because when you the heavier the cigar, you can feel it in your tongue, your lips, your teeth. Like, dude, clear your teeth right now with your tongue. You're gonna feel that shit, man. Like,
Holy
right?
shit! Yeah,
Geez,
it's
Richard,
it's there.
dude. I'm when I say I know what I'm talking about when it comes to cigars, I'm not lying. I don't bullshit, bro. I don't fucking lie.
This thing is present. One thing you couldn't say, you can't say it's got no flavor, right? The
Oh no,
flavor is it's like 5 out of 4 on flavor to me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
not
over
straight.
flavor.
Yeah, yeah, definitely the flavor. Because to me, it's almost full strength on my experience here, but my holy, but yeah, but the flavor is a lot. Like you know what I'm saying though, like picture if you had actors really intensely acting. Doesn't mean it have to be an action movie, but just
Right.
really, like Al Pacino could be doing any scene, but is a lot of flavor. They're very he could be doing anything. He's like
Right.
walking the fucking dog. You know what I'm saying? Though? You're like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you're like, oh, all right. Well, Al
Yeah.
Pacino because she's got a great ass. And he's not even talking to he's just talking to a guy in an office about nothing. He's like, she's got a great ass. And you're like, wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot of flavor right there. Al Pacino can make anything like, you get him
Yeah.
trying to say.
Give me one second. Sorry. I'll be right back.
I will say this. This is like my third time touching it up. That's not the cigar's fault. The cigar is just a little too wet. Uh, it's a very thick cigar, and I just bought it today. You're exactly right, Joshua. Joshua of Glockville. Josh, Glock, Glock around the block, everyone. It's windy out. Do you know where your pineapple is? I can tell you what, this pineapple's going great with this cigar.
I bet. Even with the acidity, though?
Oh, it's
Although,
fine.
you know what, to be fair, I think AJs are often, especially, I've smoked those, excuse me, those Southern Draw with age on them, the acidity goes away a lot. But a fresh AJ has a lot of acidity. This, to me, does not have acidity. It just has that strength and salt, that brightness.
No, Camachos are never harsh. It's still a Davidoff product. They do a lot of aging, and even when they're strong, it never feels dirty or harsh.
The more I'm smoking it, the more I like it. It's budding up on that low amazing for me, like that 90. You know what I mean? Like 89 to 90, coming up on 90.
It makes sense because I said 4.4. A
Yeah,
4.0 is a good cigar. It
right.
works, doesn't blow you way bad about it. 4.4, that'd be a very good cigar by old standards. You know what I'm saying, though? Sacco flexing. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Sacco flexing around the clock. Much appreciated. Sacco is celebrating. We got a new dog today. The dog's name is Jojo. Jojo is the name, but I be calling him Glock when I hold him.
By the way, Sacco, salt bagel, always a great choice. I'm glad you can appreciate that.
Glock,
I
Glock,
feel
Glock,
like
Glock.
I feel like it relates a little bit also to Armenian breads, like a salt bagel. It has a little bit of a similar
Let's take a
experience
moment.
to it.
Thank you, Sacco. $20. Flexing. Much appreciated. Very much appreciated.
The god of the flex.
It's just
I,
flex it around.
right there for me, it
Yeah.
picked up. The
Dude, how
strength
are you
is
still
now above
third?
4/3. What you say?
How are you still in the first third?
Micro puff?
I'm smoking a Toro and I'm ahead of you. How?
I think actually Toros and Churchills smoke faster, at least for me. Like the rate is often faster. I don't know if they do that on purpose, but I find that sometimes a Robusta, like a 5x52, can last a really long time.
Well, the only theory behind that I can help you out with that, which I can't prove, is that when they make Robusto and Toros, they use the same amount of filler, but Toros are just less filled. Does that make any sense?
Exactly. Yeah, I've been
Or
noticing.
or
Mhm.
Robustos are just more filled than the Toro.
Right. I've been smoking a lot of Toros. Remember, I smoked that Pichardo the other day, and it burnt almost like a cigarette. You know what I mean? It was like 6.5 by 50, but it smoked super fast, which was really nice. I
Yeah.
don't have any complaint about that. But this one is burning really slow. It's a very thick, I think, tobacco on this.
It looks like the burn, is all caught up, which is interesting. That's catching out more towards here, but you could definitely see the ash. That's when the tobacco's too wet, the ash can't support the weight of the moisture. Does that make any
Yeah,
sense? So
it looks like mine's not too wet. I mean, you
no,
can see
mine's
it.
more than yours.
Yeah, yeah,
I wish I could have let mine out for at least a day in Colorado.
yeah.
Texas said he had the Gatekeeper, which is not a bad cigar, not a great cigar, but I
Hmm.
think the Gatekeeper is a better cigar for Alec Bradley for $10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was made. The Gatekeeper, I think, was made with Korea APC.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, dude, the Woody would not be. There's no feasible way for me to smoke the Woody. I mean, that would.
Dude, I can't smoke the Woody in my Corolla.
You need like a prop. You know what I mean? You need some sort of way, like a telescope. You know what I mean? Prop up the woody.
I'm gonna need to hire someone to hold it. Look at that.
Dude, so here's my issue. The cigar's getting a little bit more delicious. I think maybe more Ligero's coming in or something. I'm not sure what it is, but the strength is also now above 3/4 for me, and I'm
Interesting.
starting to feel it.
Interesting. When are you gonna take that band off?
I'm gonna procrastinate because one nice thing about Camacho is these bands come off really easy. In my experience, you don't have to rush it with the band. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it is what it is. You do what you want to do, man. You know, I
I think
mean,
you're absolutely right. I think it is what it is.
I think there's certain parts of the cigar that are retarded, meaning it doesn't matter. Like
Hmm.
at the end of the day, if you want a V cut, punch it, bite it,
Yeah,
cut it. That's just a personal choice how you feel right now. But don't ever think it's morally superior. Like, who gives a shit? Does that make any sense? It's kind of like saying, well, how do you shit? Oh, I hover over the toilet bowl. Oh, I lean forward. I lean back. I do the
yeah,
rock. Lean back. Lean back. You just
yeah, yeah.
and nobody cares. You're shitting.
Or like South Park, turn around and use it like a shelf.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Sako, it's above 70 degrees humidity where I am, so it would be very hard to dry box. Yeah, Evan. Well, I honestly, especially when I started smoking cigars, I was attracted to the band. I was impressed by the, the band has a presence to it. I appreciate that, and it's easy to hold as a result. Has a nice grip to it.
I've never had a cigar with so much salt that the salt tingles like a spice. The salt is like ting. It is a very salty cigar. I'm talking about even when I'm holding it right after a bite of pineapple, it's overpowering the pineapple. Like
Yeah,
a salty fucking cigar.
yeah. Right here again. I'm like, it's just inching, and I'm getting to this point where there's this equilibrium of that classic like Lajero flavor, a little bit of that, not quite that cherry Lajero, but like there's a little Lajero, plus the salt. It's working very well. It's a very impressive blend to me at this point, and it's really doing my head in. I'm starting to spin a little bit, but I'm gonna keep smoking.
Gary Demos flexing. $2 flex, man. I appreciate that very much. He says, feeling the Socko flex, feeling my balls. Hey, man, much appreciated. Much appreciated. God bless you.
Yeah, here's to your balls, man.
Yeah. Cheers to your balls. Everyone,
Here's to your balls.
cheers to your balls. That's it.
And
Appreciate that.
Goody, you're right. You do have to take out the band sooner. So again, it is what it is. I don't know what to say. Dude, this thing is
What if
strong,
the
man.
band on makes you smoke slower? Because if once you take the band off, you don't know where you're at. But with the band, you're like,
True.
what if the band is the way of your way of like a chastity belt?
I know this might be sacrilege, but I often won't smoke past the band. So with a Camacho, I just have to keep going. You know what I mean? I just keep going until I'm done
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's strong right out of the gate.
Yeah. You know what? That paper is going to add flavor.
You're right, Richie. I should just leave the band on, and I'll just take the band off at about halfway. That way, I'll know where
Yeah.
I'm
You
at.
do yours, and I'll leave mine the way it is, and see what happens.
Okay, sounds good.
I got to touch it up again, and it's not the cigar's fault. It's drawing fine. You can clearly see this. The wrapper is very thick, and the wrapper's too wet. Only the wrapper's falling behind. And so once again, this is what happens when you buy from a lounge. And I was deceived before when I was looking at it. It didn't feel too wet. It really didn't. And then once I lit it up, all the moisture came out. Yeah.
Saka, don't say that, man. My skull's somewhat tremendous. I think. I mean, it's not whatever. Can it be a little tremendous?
What happened?
No, he's saying I don't have a tremendous skull. I don't know why he has to say that to me.
You don't. Yeah. No. No. There's you saw the pictures of me and Anthony. You see how tremendous my
Yeah,
skull.
you were like two of their skulls.
Mhm.
I actually couldn't believe it. I was shocked by that. You do have a tremendous skull.
And I'm a white man with a red face. You don't like so when my skull walks into the room, it's
Yeah,
tremendous and it's like fire red.
yeah. It's intimidating. It's like a bowling ball, man. It's like
Dude, one time I was
break.
in the hospital for a certain reason, and the guy's like, "We gotta check your blood pressure." I'm like, "Nah, I'm fine." He's like, "No, man, you're really red." I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." He checks it. He's like, "Oh, it's 120/80. It's perfect." I'm like, "I fucking told you." You know what I'm saying? No, he thought like I was hyperventilating. Because most person, if their face is beat red,
Yeah.
he's like, I was like, "I told you." I said, "I'm a white man with a red face." And I was like, "What's the matter? You don't like my skin color?" And he's like, "No, no, no, sir. I didn't say that. I didn't say that." You're like, yeah, yeah.
That's
As a
funny.
person, as a white man with a red face, which is legally true, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. You could legally say that and you'd be accurate.
Or you could
Do,
say I'm a red, or you could say I'm a red man with a white body. Like,
do you fill that in on ethnicity on a I can't even speak. I'm starting to
well, it's not a
um
ethnicity, I guess, in this case, but it is a color. I'm not
you
white.
do you do fill in ethnicity other red red face.
Like, you know what I'm saying? No, like this is red. Like, I'm red. You know what I'm saying? Though I'm more red than white, right? If we're
Yeah,
going by a reasonable person, if they say what the guy look like, he's a white guy with a red face.
yeah,
All right, that's legally true. So like, so what is what I am doesn't count? You're like, oh no, he's just a white guy. I'm not a white guy. Like, I'm a white man with a red face. That's legally true, and I'm sick of denying that. I'm sick of being denied of that. Okay, like look at your face and look at my face. I'm a white
yeah.
man with a red face. Look at my face. Look at
What
your
are we
face.
gonna do about that? How are we gonna get justice for you, Richie?
I just want to be left alone. But when people just assume that I'm just a white guy, or they're like, bro, what's wrong with your face? I'm like, that's my fucking skin color. Does it bother you? You know? Or they're like, man, how many times I get, man, were you at the beach? Why? Because I have a red face? That's my color. Does it offend you?
Sacco, I am starting to get coffee off this. I'm getting a little bit of cherry. It's definitely getting more classic Lajero Habano as it gets deeper in. Still salt on the top. And what's interesting is I think because it starts so salty, and for me it's starting to fade into a more normal but very strong cigar. It gives a certain complexity. It lends a complexity to it. So I
No,
appreciate that.
this is a very good cigar. Not a great
Yeah,
cigar, in my opinion, but still a very good cigar. Very different experience. Nothing bad to say about it.
yeah.
But, but it's like when you have a Lefroy Scotch or you have something really different, you're like, bro, don't have that unless you're in the mood for this. If you have this looking for a traditional Connecticut broadleaf Maduro or a traditional Connecticut shade grown or a traditional Mexican San Andreas Maduro, it's not that kind of party, bro.
Even if you're looking for a regular Habano, this is pretty fucking
No,
strong.
yeah, dude. No, dude. I have never had this much salt on a cigar, and I ate pineapple. I ate like 5 pieces of pineapple, and it was the saltiness was going through the pineapple.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, Goody, I absolutely agree. I would look like a bobblehead, and it would probably snap my neck. It would be very bad if I had a tremendous skull, and it's no dig. It's facts. It's legally true, as Richard would say.
Well, yeah, Sako. We'll do that eventually. On the weekends when I could do that. I can't do it during the week because of the timing. So I listen. I'm fucking human. All right, I'm human. Okay, I'm
You're a
human.
human man with a red face and a tremendous skull.
Yeah.
What can people ask from you?
What's what's
Except
what
that. Except that.
what's wrong with that? It's legally true.
It's legally true and it's completely legal. There's no issue with that.
Tremendous skull. Like
This thing is, yeah.
it's legally true. You saw the pictures. I have a tremendous skull.
Dream Life, Anthony, would you deny that he had a tremendous skull?
Like if I was a giant, like 7, 8 feet tall, then you could say I have
Right.
a normal head. But
Yeah.
I'm a 6 foot tall guy, and you see my head, and you're like, that's a tremendous skull.
Richie, I wonder what stunted your growth because clearly you should have been 7.5 feet.
Yes. You know what's funny? My upper torso is actually the size of most people that are like 6'4", but
Right.
my short for my size. If I'm sitting
Interesting.
who's like 6'2", 6'3" in a chair,
Yeah.
we look the same height. And then when we stand up, we're not. Does that make any
Gotcha.
sense? So
Yeah,
from
totally.
my hips up, I have a very tall torso, but I have short Italian legs. If that makes any sense. Does that make any sense?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, your legs are Italian because you're Italian, but yeah, 100%. Do
But
Italians have short
I have
legs?
like
Is that
short,
normal?
stocky, like cement mason legs. Because all the men in my family for like a
Gotcha.
thousand years of making cement. You know what I'm saying? Though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they both immediately attest to it being huge. Appreciate
Wait,
that,
why is
fellas.
Anthony P losing his rent? Is this the real Anthony P or the fake Anthony P? Hold on a second. Anthony P doesn't have a wrench. This can't be the real. This has got to be a fake Anthony P.
It's got to be Internet Surfer, dude.
Dude, this is a fake Anthony P. Hold on a second. I already made Anthony P a fucking managing. I made him a manager. Dude, what the fuck is this, man? Hold on. Hold on. The real Anthony P. If this is you, text the private text right now. We're getting scammed. We're getting scammed.
I think my cigars it's burning a little uneven. It's a little wet. It's wet out. It's like 75 out in terms of humidity. It's getting it's an experience, man. This is an experience. I
All
feel
right.
like if you getting drunk, this would be
Hold on.
phenomenal.
I'm going to make him a moderator right now. Okay. Anthony, I gave you a wrench. What the hell is going on here? Dude, this cigar is hitting me hard, bro.
Me too.
It is hitting me hard, bro. Bro, it is hitting me hard. So much salt. It's not a bad thing, but it's my God, what were they thinking? I mean, it's not a bad cigar, but wow, that's a lot. Wow, that's a
Dude,
lot of.
it stands up to the brand. I mean, you can't look. I tell you another thing. I think the band has too little words on it. This is the band that should have power band, tough built,
Yeah, right
extra strength, extra Lajero.
for itself. And back in the day, what Camachos were known for were being heavy, strong cigars.
Yeah.
You know, this cigar is not for newbies. And as far as regular guys, you got to be in the mood. I don't know what's going on,
This
dude. How crazy was that with all the bikers before, man?
that's really crazy. Was that more bikers or was that just
No,
people
no.
feeling off?
Bikers are like 2 blocks down the street. Should I go down there? Should I drive right down there? You think?
No. No, no, no. Not high on not high on Camacho, Nicaragua for sure. I will
Well,
say now go ahead.
have a drink.
What'd you say?
I can go down there and have a drink. Nah, it's probably a bad idea.
Probably a bad idea. Um, Now that it's picking up on the Lajero side, it's reminding me of the Aladino Corojo, the Petite Corona. As it got in, it got so strong, and this has a little bit of that similar type of strength. But
I want.
it can't
I
be
want
related. Yeah,
to drop the ash if it's gonna pick up on strength because I've been dropping the ash on mine because it's too wet.
you said you wonder if it'll pick up on strength if I drop
Yeah,
the ash.
right now, when you hold the ash, it generally insulates the cherry, cools it down a little bit.
Got you.
So if your cigar's too wet, get rid of the ash. Does that make
Yeah,
any sense? It's
yeah,
almost like if your cigar's too wet, holding the ash is a stupid thing because it needs more air to combust. When a cigar's dry, where it should be, then the ash helps insulate it to cool down, to slow it down a little bit. Does that make any sense? So in this case, but what I'm saying is holding the ash is normally a good thing, but if the cigar is wet, drop it.
right.
Sense?
The problem is mine's kind of burning sideways, so I got to figure out a way to. I want to
What you
see if
gotta,
it'll catch up. What you say?
what I would do is I would touch it up and then drop the ash total.
Touch it up, then drop it. All right, I'll try that.
Touch it up and then you could drop all of it. Because right now see, I told you the wrapper is
Yeah.
so thick on this. Touch the fuck up. Sacco, we're both smoking wet Camachos. We are smoking Camacho. What are the chances of that? Like, dude, I never get wet cigars because I dry them out in Colorado. I'm not in Colorado. I'm telling you, Colorado is really good for cigars. Well, if you use the timing right. Can you
Yeah,
imagine if you let all your Opus X in Colorado, no Boveda, they would dry out in a month. They
yeah.
dry out.
Less. 3 weeks, 2 weeks. This thing is getting me in the stomach. It's getting me in the head. It's no
You,
bullshit. Now, yeah,
you see how touching that up and you could drop it off evenly? You see that?
yeah,
See, I'm
smart.
teaching you fucking everything, man. See, I'm making you a better smoker, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
really, I'm not a dick. I pass down knowledge to everyone, not just you, everyone watching it. You know what I'm saying, though?
oh yeah. Hey, I'm trying to learn. I'm always trying to learn. I know I'm new to it. I
It's
appreciate it. I appreciate
kind
it
of
very
like if,
much.
if if 3 out of the 4 people are doing the right thing, the job, and the fourth guy's not, maybe he just needs a little help. Now, if you help him and he's just being lazy, fine. But sometimes people just need a little push.
Yeah, I appreciate it. The flavor on this is getting really good, but the strength is getting really strong.
Dude, it's just punching me in my stomach. Like this cigar might give you diarrhea. You're
Yeah,
like, I gotta go shit my pants.
yeah.
Like I'm glad I don't have to drive. I'm glad I can go inside and go defecate myself. Dude, I think it's made of prunes. It's gonna make you shit yourself.
It's made of prunes and gasoline and salt.
It's salt, dude. Holy cow! He said my
Dude, okay.
Dude, no, I ate before I had this, bro. Dude, I had some food. I don't know if you heard the story. I could afford to go to the barbecue place. Yes. that was the saddest story. It could have been like a Christmas story, like the drummer boy. I have no gift for you, ba-dum-ba-bum-ba. Or the other one, sir, can you buy these shoes for my mama, please? You ever hear that song?
No, I heard the part of
Uh,
that, but not all of the lyrics.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I get it. I mean, well, you don't celebrate Christmas, right? So you didn't hear it.
I do celebrate Christmas,
Oh, hey, forgive me for assuming.
and forgive me for not knowing all the lyrics to that song.
Okay, so in this song, it's kind of like a parallel to Drummer Boy being poor but still trying to offer a gift, but in reverse. This boy's poor and his mother's dying, and she's at the hospital, but the boy's little doesn't understand, and he's at the store and he's asking the man behind him at the aisle, saying, "I don't have enough money for these shoes," and
Mm,
he's asking the man, "Could you help me buy these shoes for my mother, please?
yeah,
Daddy's gonna go home and meet Jesus tonight," and she wants her to have new shoes on so she could dance with Jesus. It's the
yeah.
saddest fucking song you ever heard in your life, even if you're not religious. It's a
That's really fucking sad.
young boy begging some man at Walmart basically, could you help me buy these shoes? Which also promotes capitalism, so it's definitely a very pro-American thing. It's like
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, I don't think the King of Kings cares if your mother's wearing new shoes. He says, "Come as you are." But in this case,
yeah.
stimulate the economy, kid. Ask that man to buy your mommy some new shoes.
Oh my god, dude, we
Right.
got to keep the mood up, man. I can't think about sad stuff with this cigar. Do you know what I mean? I'm like spiraling. This thing is intense.
Bro, did
Sako,
you notice that like since we started the cigar, like, normally our conversations are super deep for like the whole time, but this cigar is taking over. Okay, this is a perfect example. You know what I say? A cigar backs the moment. This
yeah,
is not. This cigar is the moment,
here's the moment. Yeah,
and that's another thing I taught guys. Real simple. Two kinds of cigars. It's kind of like in life too. Do you want to? If you have a friend, does he back the moment up, or is the moment? Like if you're around me, I'm the moment, and I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, but when I go into a room, I become the moment. I'm not going to make the place weaker, and I'm not going to just go with the grain and like Richie's going to come in like the Kool-Aid man through the wall, like oh yeah,
right.
like I'm going balls deep.
I'm starting to get that coffee, getting a little nuttiness, almost like a walnut, but very, very mild, very slight. A little bit of cherry, intense. Sako, you like this cigar so much? Yeah,
So much rock salt, charred wood, and black
yeah,
pepper. Nothing's
yeah.
changed on mine, but I respect that. If you're what fucking a moth is in here, get the fuck out of here.
How far are you in though, Richie? Because I think I'm
I'm
deeper
about
in because I.
to hit the last third.
Oh my god, dude! How are you deeper than me?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Well, also I take a bigger puffs, man. It's fine. Dude,
Yeah,
that's why you're having slightly different experience than me because you do
right.
micro, and I
Well,
respect. I, I've
think
come
about
I've come to respect your micro puffing. It's not for me, but I'm
yeah.
not mocking you. I'm glad someone in the group does something different, and it is what it is.
If you think about it as well, my skull isn't nearly big enough to be taking those types of puffs.
That is a good point. I can't prove or disprove that, but legally, I mean, I get that. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Legally, it would be hard to disprove.
It is. It is what it is.
Uncle Larry says, "Would you buy it again? Would you buy this again, Richie? I would almost buy it again to drink wine and smoke
I
it.
would buy this again. Make sure I dry it out. Make sure I
Yeah,
dry. I would buy this in a 5-pack on Cigar Page for like $30. Not even like they'll have a 5-pack for $20. I'd buy it on the Cigar Page, and I'd let it make sure they're dried out. I really want to try this dried out
yeah,
without having to touch it up. This would be a lot more fun to smoke. You know what I'm saying, though? So that's
yeah,
not the cigar's fault. I also the first guy in cigar channel history. Nobody talks about the cigar being wet. People are like, "Oh, touch ups." Yeah, but
right,
if the cigar's wet, it's not the cigar's fault. If you're
right,
saying the cigar needs touch ups, it's a very thick wrapper, so it's very slow burning tobacco. And if it's wet, it's not the cigar's fault. It needs to be dried out a little bit.
yeah,
You know? No, how
yeah,
come
absolutely.
we talked about this shit? I know I talk about balls and everything else and joking around and homeless women getting eaten by alligators, but I talk about some real important shit.
They hate cigars, man. Everybody hates cigars except Richie Channel.
No, they hate accountability. They want to blame someone else. You know what I'm saying, though? I hold myself accountable. So if I'm smoking a cigar that's wet, I give the cigar a pass. It's like a judge. The same thing can happen, but under the circumstance, it can be a difference between manslaughter, self-defense, and homicide. And
Yeah,
depending on the situations, it's different. The same outcomes. Does that make any
right.
sense?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
If
I
I
would
gave
say,
a cigar 2 days to dry box and it still happened, then it's the cigar's fault.
right,
That's murder. That's murder. You get it?
right, right.
If I didn't give it, you know, it's self-defense. The cigar's like, what do you want? It's wet. I'm wet. I'm fucking wet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Goodness, man. I was
shit. It's a lot. I'm at full strength in the last third. Woo,
me too.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating balls on this one.
My stomach is doing knots, man.
Yeah, I'm
It's
sweating.
tumbling, man.
You got to do what you got to do, Saka.
I will say, I will say it's continuously been interesting with the flavor. Flavor's been complex. Is well, it wasn't that complex at first, but it's been transitional. Um, it's good. It's a good cigar.
That char- I'm glad it has the charred wood though, because with the charred wood, okay, put it this way: imagine eating a fucking salted bagel. I mean, a really heavy salted bagel with
Yeah,
like cream cheese and lox, but like, and then you put salt on the cream cheese and lox.
yeah,
That's
and
like,
capers, dude.
yeah, yeah. So picture, yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It just and like a salted olive oil over it. You know, what I'm saying though,
Yeah, and they salted both sides of the bagel.
yeah, and black pepper. So if
Yeah,
you like that, so it has an experience I think that could be enjoyed. Um, but I don't think it's for regular usage. I think once a week or once a month, if something you're like, hey, I want to get pungently taken away, and
yeah,
and almost you say, hey, I want to forget about sweetness tonight.
yeah,
If you and then like I said, you introduce a wine or fresh fruit with this cigar, and then you can make the sweetness happen with the other hand. Does that make any sense?
yeah. I think also if you want to really have a party, you could drink half a bottle of wine or whatever. Get a couple of these, split a bottle of wine with a buddy, and you'd be pretty good, man. Like it's not weak.
Yeah. I just find the whole thing of cigars so interesting that it's 2023 and we're doing the same thing that men have been doing for a long time, even before the Europeans found
Yeah,
tobacco. The Native Americans were smoking this shit and they were
yeah,
having a good. Okay, they were making even like rustics. So they were just rolling up tobacco and it probably more like a fresh roll, whatever the hell they were doing. But they were enjoying it before. I say we, me as a white man with a red face, they found a way to mass produce it and sell it throughout the world. So I mean, it is what it is. That being said, the fact that this is really still the best part of your life when you're by yourself is amazing. Like I'd rather do this over video games. I'd rather do this over drinking alcohol. I'd rather do this than banging a bunch of whores and prostitutes. Like cigars, and it's such a community, and it's also, but it's a self experience. It's kind of like America. America is a community, but you got to pull your own weight, and you're having your personal experience amongst Americans. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
America, you're free to live on the street and get eaten by alligators, or you can hustle, and and have as good as a life as you think you deserve.
I'm getting some barnyard funkiness. I'm getting coffee. I'm getting almost bread, but not quite. A little bit of sweetness. It keeps getting better, but it keeps getting more difficult to smoke, in my opinion. It's getting like so strong.
Sometimes I just want to tell you to shut the fuck up, but I
My
don't
fault.
mean. Oh no. Let me finish. I don't mean it in a mean way. I
Yeah,
just mean comedic timing. Just so if I ever do that to you, don't take it personal. I got love for you. You know what I'm saying? No, I call you on the phone. You know what I'm saying? No, and that's the thing too, which was a personal offense about that whole other thing, which we're not going to talk about. If I
right.
call you on the phone, or if you call me and I answer, that means I care about you as a human being, right?
Yeah,
Because I can just hit the red button and say this asshole. Like, so people I care about, I talk to. You know what I'm saying? Though,
yeah. Quality time.
like, you know what I'm saying? Though,
Yeah, sharing your time with somebody is a very important thing.
yeah.
What's more important than that?
No, and so if that's not taken as respect and that we're friends, I don't know what is. Like when I just go live and when Sacco's there, it's like boom. It's like 9 out of 10 times Sacco's my first guest. I know he loves the show so much, and he's always a great person to have on the show. He's always
Always the
someone.
best. Yeah,
Sacco literally is like the partner of this show. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And and but it's because I know he enjoys it so much. Like, you know what I'm saying though?
yeah.
Like like oh I got a phone call. I hope my face isn't frozen. Give me
You're black. It's all just a black screen right now.
give me a second. I got a phone call. Let me see something.
All right, no worries. Hello, back country pipe. Love Nova Scotia. It's a nice place. Nice area of the world.
Are we back?
Nope, still black screen.
Oh man, somebody called me on my phone. Shit.
Is it fucked?
Yeah, I think so. Fuck. Well, it is what it is. Hey, I got put in the 300 club. It is what it is.
What are we
No,
gonna
I
do?
can't.
Reboot it?
No, I'm not turning it off. I'm in my last third. So
Got you. All right.
it is what it is. I see my face. You can't even see my face.
I can't see your face. Well, can you guys see his face? I can't see your face, but it's all good. They can see your face. They can see your face.
I'm not even saying that for a vain way. I don't care if you see my face. I'm just saying, like, it's part of the show, the comedy. Damn it, I got a phone call. I can't find a way to change. I can't find a way to make the camera come back. I don't know how to make the camera come back.
Sako, what do you like about this cigar? I mean, I like the cigar. It's a good cigar, but what do you see in the cigar, and what do you think that we're missing in the cigar? Because you say it's box worthy. You say we're butchering the cigar. Could be totally valid. And I can also see it's
No,
very
he's saying we're
strong,
butchering because
getting
these
along.
cigars are wet.
Yeah,
That's all.
but I mean, what is the flavor that we're missing? What's the component that makes it takes it to box worthy? And again, it's a very good cigar, but it's um
No, for me,
yeah,
that just comes down to just experiences. Me smoking this. When I say something's not box worthy, it doesn't mean you can't buy a box if you like a deal. Box worthy for me is not about actually buying a box. Box worthy for me is the recommendation how hard to have one. Does that make any sense?
right. For me, box worthy is also about usability. Do I want to come back to it all the time, or do I want
No,
to just make
no,
sure I have one on
no.
hand?
I wouldn't want like 40 of these in my collection. But
No way.
I think a 5 pack would be good to have thrown in the mix. And man, I got a phone call. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, this is cool. It's me and Sack, dude.
I don't even know if I get rid of you and come back. I don't think it's gonna matter. Okay, let me get rid of you and I'll be back in 2 seconds. Let me see if that.
Okay, sounds good. All right,
All
all
right,
right.
get the fuck out of here. All right, let me see it. No, it doesn't help. It didn't help. Interesting. All right. Nah, it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. We got no. Sorry, Dream Life. That's not working. Son of a bitch. Dream Life. Don't fuck on me, Dream Life. Dream Life, why do you gotta fuck on me? And I'm a nice guy. So I can't get rid of it. I'm sorry.
Dang.
You know, it is what it is. I'm sorry about that. So overall, my thoughts: 4.4, a heavy, strong cigar, an exotic, salty cigar. If that makes any sense, very different, but
Yeah.
very good quality.
Hmm.
And it's not harsh at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd age this. I don't know how you could age this. I don't
I
know
don't
what would.
even. I don't even think it would do anything to it. You know what I mean? Open the book. What book?
Yeah, I don't know what would happen to him. Like, what if you age this for a year? Would the saltiness go down? Like, or would just the black pepper spice go down and it would taste more salty? What's up, Sean? How's your balls? Yeah, I got a phone call and so now my screen is frozen. So it is what it is. Well, I mean, we're at the last 10 minutes of the show. Well, I guess now you can understand that, if Richie dies, this is what your life will be. You'll just be picturing Richie, but he's not there. His tremendous skull is gone. You know. Here's the thing, PG. As odd as this cigar is, and as
Yeah.
pungently weird, salty, charred wood, and black pepper, I'm like puffing on it hard, like, and not because I'm trying to, because I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it. I'm
Yeah.
actually enjoying the last third. Like, it's kind of like holy shit, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's like
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of it's almost improving. It's almost more well balanced in the last third.
Anthony P wants to promote himself. Go ahead, Anthony P. Go ahead, take the show over, Anthony. I'm out of here. It's all for you. Anthony P. Stupidplace.com.
Make sure to get the T-shirt.
Yeah. He's gonna start. He's gonna start selling underwear. That says "How's the balls?" No joke, bro. 6.5 hours of cornfields and silos. That's it, and windmills, dude. For 6.5 hours, I'm not joking. At 80 miles an hour, bro. That gets you after a while. You're like,
Yeah.
like every like 20 minutes, I'm like, come on, spice it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
something else. Could something else be out here? Nothing. Nothing out here.
I will also say every time I've touched it up, it doesn't affect the flavor at all. It's very clean. There's no issues with it. It's just the cigar is well constructed. The oil content is there. It's dense.
Mhm.
Plenty of flavor. I don't think anybody could say it's a bad cigar.
No,
There's
no,
nothing
no.
to
What
hate.
they can't say is a bad cigar for them. So this might not be for you, but it's not a bad cigar. There's a difference. Like, you know what I'm saying? No. Hey, Sean's in Missouri. Sean is 2 hours from me in Missouri. I'm only 2 hours from fucking Missouri border. That's hysterical. I'm 2 hours from like Kansas City, Missouri. Is what it is. It's too bad I didn't know it. Like last week, I was going to Kansas. We could have
Yeah.
found somebody that lives in Kansas. Like, yo, come on out for the show. Like, they
Yeah.
come in the Corolla. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know,
Give,
Sean.
give me 1 sec again. Sorry.
Yeah. That's fucking hysterical. Really strong in the last third. It fucking sucks. I can't see myself because fucking like it's part of the show and how I respond to you. You know. That's it. Yeah, dude. It's 9:30. The town is dead. Everything is closed. Everything is closed. Johnny. All right. All right. Now we can tell what happened. Johnny Stash. Do you want to know why you can't see me, Johnny Stash? Because of Johnny Stash. John, Johnny Stash called me on the phone, and Johnny Stash is here. So let's give a round of applause for Johnny putting Big D in the 300 club. Did you hear me or no?
Yeah.
So the reason why you can't see me is because Johnny Stash called me, and then if you call me when I'm on a live, John, you knocked me out, John, and I can't be mad at you, John, because you're my best friend. I love you, John. John, if you call me when I'm on a live, it freezes the live, John. You got to do me a favor, John. If you can call me at nighttime, check my YouTube to make sure. Stash, if I'm on a live and you call me, it freezes the chat.
Dude, this
No, John, it's okay, John. John, you're only human. I love you, brother. It's all good.
I I was when you kicked me off for a sec, I walked around and it just like sometimes you get not only was I like spinning a little bit, but I just felt ill, man. It's almost like being drunk.
Dude, this cigar will fuck you up, man. Johnny Stash, everyone. And I'll say it again. Johnny Stash is the best friend I ever had in my life. I love Johnny Stash. I never put Johnny Stash in the 300 club.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
This thing is
So
rinsing me, bro. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, 4.4, 75% darkness, absolutely heavy profile, long
Yeah.
finish, sticking to the teeth. It's like, dude, it's like if you were mouth washing with salt. Like
Yeah.
that's how much salt. You know, when you were a kid, when you're sick, your mother would say, gargle warm water with salt
Yeah.
to kill the germs in your throat if you were sick. That's exactly what it's like.
I'm not gonna eat anything with salt in it for like 3 days, man.
Yeah, bro. Dude, that's a salty cigar, man.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How strong would this be in terms of the flavor? This is one of the maybe the strongest cigar I've ever smoked in terms of the flavor.
I guess
Where would you put this?
what you mean by that is it's like everything's firing all four cylinders. There's no wasted puff. However, it's not the strongest cigar I ever had, but what it has, it's pushing heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the difference between a cigar being heavy and long finish and strength. Strength right now, I'm at full strength, but it's not an
Yeah.
ass kicking. But
Right.
but when you have a long finish and heavy finish and you're holding the smoke
Right.
and it's not sweet at all, it will get to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you take a full something I really enjoyed about the Aladino that I smoked, which was probably the strongest in terms of nicotine content that I smoked, was it was a very beautiful, chill, almost medium profile. You know,
Mm.
medium darkness, medium uh flavor, you know what I mean? Just very, very beautiful, chill. This is so strong on top of being full strength, like you
Yeah,
said, is tremendous.
yeah, it's just firing all four cylinders. Um, yeah, no, it's the cigar's a good cigar, man. It's a 4.4.
Yeah.
It's a 4.4. Johnny smoking a Davidoff Bellicoso. That's a totally different cigar. Very chill, nice medium strength. Do you ever smoke the Winston Churchill Bellicoso? It's like a 4.5, like by like 46 little torpedo. It's kind of nice.
Oh, that sounds like a really nice that sounds really nice. I gotta try
Yeah.
that. Just the hit off the teeth is full strength. You know what I mean? This is like
No,
um
there's no. I didn't see. I don't smoke marijuana, but I didn't see any marijuana in Kansas. I think Kansas is a dry state. They They don't do the green stuff. They're only selling corn out here.
The reserve. What's the reserve Dream Life? This is the Camacho, Nicaragua. I don't know if they make a reserve.
No. I don't know if he's talking about that. I'm confused with that statement. Yeah, he's in Missouri. Yeah, no, Kansas is Missouri. I guess that's crazy to think Missouri. Well, Missouri. I mean, that's where Budweiser is. They make a lot of alcohol, so I guess it's uh, maybe more of a liberal with marijuana. I guess you want to hear something funny though?
Yeah.
Since I've been here though, I haven't seen one homeless person,
Huh.
and marijuana is not legal here. So what does that tell you? If you're homeless, you don't want to be where you can't do drugs in the street.
Interesting. I
Does that
guess
make any sense?
you think that's how they get through day to day?
I
Just
just
do
think
some
that
drugs.
once you allow one type of, and I'm not gonna say it's a narcotic, but once you allow one type of drug on the street, just like it happened in Denver, now they don't even care if you smoke fentanyl on the street because
Oh, gotcha.
does that make any sense? So
Right.
once it'd be like this. Okay, go to Mardi Gras. Once you allow drinking on the street, all bets are off. So like a lot more shenanigans happen. It's kind of like that's why I don't mind like when they have open container laws. Because if you just don't have assholes everywhere just drinking on the streets and the cops can't do anything about it,
Yeah.
shit starts to pop off. Because it's not
Right.
going to be like 20 girls in bikinis drinking. It's going to be like
Right.
100 angry guys, you know,
Right.
slamming beers in the street.
Yeah. Dream Life. It was not the reserve. It was the regular, just regular Corojo from Aladino, but it was in the Petit Corona. So as I was getting to the end, like the nub of the Petit Corona was pretty fucking strong.
Dude, I'm down to the nub on this. I only have maybe an inch of tobacco under the ash. It's getting warm. I would say you get a lot for your money for $12. Same
Yeah.
price as the broadleaf. The broadleaf's the better cigar, but this is the stronger, saltier cigar if that's the kind of mood.
I
But
feel like the quality of this is really good. That's one thing I can really say.
I would say that I agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel it's like a higher and mid tier cigar,
Yeah.
which is something. I will say this about Kansas: don't come here and fuck around because there's nothing going on. So if you come here and act stupid, you're gonna get smacked down. You're gonna get smacked down big time.
They're gonna
You know
put
what I'm
you.
saying? No,
They're gonna arrest you in the cornfield next to Christ. You got to look at Christ
yeah,
looking at
exactly.
corn.
Yeah. No, but well, I'm on the main street out here. There's not much going on. You can't see it because I'm in the 300 Club, but
Yeah.
there's nothing going on here. Hey, what's up, Jermaine? What's up? Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I wish that I would have brought another cigar and I could have done another live, but
Yeah.
it's probably better when I'm done. I'll go to sleep because we're gonna leave about 8 o'clock, and then I gotta drive 6.5 hours.
You
With
really feel like you could smoke another cigar after this?
well, just to kill time. But
All
you're right.
right.
It would. All I did bring them. I brought a Macanudo vintage 2013, but that would be a sin to smoke that after this cigar.
Yeah. You
Totally
could.
different.
I could maybe smoke the lightest Connecticut of all time after this.
How about
That's a
this?
uh,
Could you smoke another one of these after this?
no. What would someone have to? Could you?
I could, but I would not like it. I would know going into that before I lit it up the second time. I'm gonna pay for this. Dude. I smoked 3 Opus X in one night, and I didn't pay for it. The next day I was fine.
Yeah.
I smoked one of these. I'm gonna pay for this tomorrow.
I
Two of them.
wonder. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if because it's so clean, we won't actually pay for it that much. You know what I mean? Because it does still feel clean. It just feels intense.
No, but there's a lot of nicotine on this, man. There's a
A
lot
lot.
of nicotine on this.
A lot.
What a shame. What a shame that Richie's in darkness right now. I apologize for that. And Johnny Stash didn't mean it.
Yeah.
It's the one guy I can't get mad at.
For sure. Well, Anthony, I hope you're happy. I've definitely I don't think I've said anything smart for at least a half hour
We
or
started off with a
complicated.
really, really deep conversation. And then once we lit this cigar, it's hard. See, when you have a cigar that takes over the moment like this, You see what I'm saying, though? The difference?
Yeah.
Well, you can't have a deep conversation smoking this. By the first third, you're like, wow, it's a lot of salt. Yeah, it's really salty. Know what else?
Yeah.
It's really salty. You're like, yeah.
Yeah. It's it's like when you're in a car with somebody
Yeah.
and they just hit the gas really hard
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, have I shown you the pickup on this car?" And I'm like, "No." And they hit it, you know,
Yeah.
100 mile, 120, you know, really
Yeah. Yeah.
fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just like, that's your experience then. For that moment, you're experiencing that. This is what it feels like.
I guess the proper word for the cigar is intensity.
Yeah.
Intensity doesn't mean strength. You could have an intense medium
Right.
strength cigar. So what this cigar is doing is pushing it up, bro. Like I just drank a whole bottle of water, and all it did was move the salt around. Like I'm tasting salt on my lips, on my tongue.
It's
Uh,
got the intensity and the strength though.
if I
It
got pulled
doesn't
over right now, a cop would be like, "You been eating salt bagels? You got any pretzels in the car?" No, man. It was a Camacho. It was very salty. It was very salty. You know. Well, do you got any closing words for the guys?
Thanks for coming to the show. No, I don't know. Um, Good to hang out. Nice to see you. Thanks for the tip about the relight. It's good as always to hang out, and it was a really interesting cigar as always.
Yeah, no, it was
Um,
definitely not.
Interesting breaking it down.
It wasn't mundane, and it's a good reset for the palate. Almost like I feel Padron 1000 is a good reset as far as earthiness. If you want an earthy reset, you have Padron 1000, okay, Maduro. If you want a salty reset,
Yeah,
you have Camacho, Nicaragua.
yeah,
So the category for this cigar would be reset. If you want to reset everything,
yeah,
kind of like when you have the ginger between different sushi rolls, to clean your palate. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Though? Well, this is going to clean your palate with salt, with a lot of salt,
yeah, for sure.
and a lot.
I think, yeah, and I think also if you were smoking cigars and you say, oh, a lot of the cigars I'm smoking have a similar flavor to them, or something like that. Um, this is going to change that. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? This is going to be influenced by what you think your cigars are tasting like. This is a bold characteristic that is going to be itself, you know, and is not going to be
this cigar
modified.
made a huge statement.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, it's not an easy to love cigar,
Hmm.
but it does what it does well. And
Yeah.
if you're in that kind of mood, then go for it. But if you like moderate cigars or more balanced cigars or something with sweetness, you're gonna hate
Yeah.
this cigar. It's not a balanced cigar and it's not a sweet cigar. Um, but I gotta give it to them for making something totally unique. You know?
Yeah. And I think it is, to me, of what I've smoked so far, it's the epitome of the Camacho brand in terms of what they say they are.
Yeah,
It's everything. All the marketing lines are paid off in this cigar.
yeah,
If you felt like, oh, it's not bold enough, it's not
yeah,
strong enough, doesn't have enough flavor, it's not Davidoff, you know what I mean? It doesn't have enough uh, class to it or whatever.
yeah.
It's got class to it and it's really strong.
I'm gonna end it with this.
Yeah,
Um, you turn your Bibles to Proverbs 6:26. It says, "A whorish woman could be bought with a loaf of bread, but adulteress could cost you your life." Now, what does that mean? One, bread got you a lot more back in Bible times.
yeah.
Apparently, you could clap cheeks for bread, right? That's amazing. I didn't know back then a loaf of bread could get you head. I didn't know that.
I didn't know
Imagine
that
like
either.
guys in the corner pulling up to the ladies in the evening, and they got a loaf of Wonder Bread. Hey, ladies! Oh no! Hey! Like the girls, like that's mine. That's mine. Yeah, that's mine. Oh, we got a big flex here.
They got to check it for freshness and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Appreciate that,
99 cents.
Jermaine.
It adds up, dude.
Yeah, it adds up. It adds up.
99
So,
cents adds
so
up.
a loaf of bread. It literally says that in the Bible. It says, but do you understand the metaphor? Meaning, you can lay with a woman that's her job, and the only trouble will cost you hypothetically is a
Right.
loaf of
It's the
bread.
cost.
But
Yeah.
an adulteress could cost you your life. Why? Because if your wife finds out you're in love with another woman, you're dead. And if the husband finds out, you're dead,
Yeah.
right? And back then, if the community found out, right, going back to old Jewish culture in the Bible, if you found out you lay with another man's wife that was married, they would
Right.
stone you because I mean you ruined their because now they don't know if they're now that man doesn't know if his children are his children, you know.
Yeah.
So whereas if you just went down for a loaf of bread, you know, it is what it is, what it is, you know.
Yeah.
But it didn't specify what kind of loaf of bread. Was it rye? Was it challah? Was it white bread? Was it
It's,
Italian? Was it a French baguette?
it should probably be fresh at least. I don't think they're
You would assume it's fresh. You would assume, yeah, yeah. You would assume it's fresh.
good
Yeah.
quality. Something nice, nice brown bread.
But dude, once I read that verse, every time I go to the store and I'm in the bread aisle, I'm just like, oh my! I start sweating. I'm like, I mean, the amount of ass I could get right now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't let your lady see you in the bread aisle.
Yeah, yeah.
Just get in, get out quick.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is what it is with that, man. I mean, yeah, look it up. A whorish woman, and then I like the new international. What says a prostitute. Uh, a prostitute can be had for a loaf of bread, and all I can say is, in reality, that statement's true because when you think about money, they call you got the bread, you got the dough, right? So money is still related to bread, you know,
Yeah.
because only through money is how we all eat, you know.
I heard that was, I guess, established in the 20s, that slang, the
What's that?
bread, the slang bread for money. And I think it was because many, what the guy said, which I don't know if this is true, seems implausible, but that so many people worked in bakeries and that there was such a, I guess it's such a staple that you can equate it to money. So, like you said,
Well, also like if a house has bread in it, they gotta have money. You know what I'm saying though, right? I don't know,
yeah, no, at the
but
time, yeah,
yeah. So I guess if you guys wanted to do a study, you could do like a doctorate thesis on that verse. You know what I'm saying though, and
yeah.
find out the historical price of bread versus the price of a street lady. You know, and I'm not saying it's gonna be a high end lady. I didn't say that. You know, because maybe that costs 3 loaves of bread. You know,
And the Italians, the ancient Romans had bread, right? Because
yeah,
they didn't have pasta until Marco Polo brought it over from China,
yeah.
like around 1300 or whatever. Um, so they were eating bread. So it's always been important. And there's a famous Roman, I don't want to say ruin, but like I don't know what you would call it, but there's a leftover from ancient Rome. There's a baker's, um, what would you call it? Like not a tombstone, but if you have like a memorial to somebody,
Yeah.
their grave site, and it's this giant, not giant, but it's a large, quite large, um, depiction, like in stone, of the bread furnace or what, the oven, the bread oven that they would use. It's cool. I saw it. And but the point of this, I'm rambling. The point is that it was so profitable. The guy was able to make so much money that he would have such a large uh, grave site, right? Such a large memorial to him, that he did so well with bread, and then that was memorialized. So yeah, I guess there's a huge history around bread. Actually, I'd be interested to see that.
Well, you think about the timing too, right? How it's relative. Back then, if the common thing was just to try to survive, because without eating that day, you would, it's not like now we have a refrigerator and bread that could in plastic wrap could be good for a week, and
Right.
preservative. Back then, if you didn't have any bread, you're gonna die. You're like, wow,
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna starve to death. So people that had bread back then, bread was a sign of wealth. So a woman you could be bought, a woman could be bought with bread. Uh, but I wonder, do you have to like leave it on the nightstand before or like after? Like, what do you do? Like, do you bring the loaf of bread to the motel? What do you do?
Yeah. It's like it's. I don't know. Yeah, she's like eating it throughout the night.
What if she's eating it while you're doing what you got to do because she's like, "Oh, this is too good to be true."
I'm so hungry.
Yeah,
Well, you don't want it to get stale,
right, right.
right?
Yeah,
So she's probably like, I better eat it now than later.
yeah, yeah. You're like you're sitting there doing your thing. You're like, you like that? She's like, oh yeah, it's sesame seed. I mean, yeah, yeah, it's great. It's
Yeah. You could tell you're not making much of an impact. She's just eating the bread.
great. um, it is what it is. You know. You know.
I'm
Do you
full
think
on
Hungry
wasted, man. Yeah,
Hungry
go ahead.
Hippo? Do you think Hungry Hippo was teaching children to be like capitalists, like just to take everything?
Mm. Yeah, to get what's yours, to push for it. I think
Right.
so,
When
actually.
you think about Hungry Hippo,
Hello, man. I think we lost Richie in a big way at this point. No video, no audio.
can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, now I can hear you.
So imagine a Hungry Hippo. If you got a kid and he pressed the lever one time, it's a one ball. And they're like, Johnny, why'd you only get one ball? He's like, I'm content. He's like, I take what I need. I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
the game felt very aggressive to me as a child. So I definitely think that it's an aggressive game. It is what's called zero sum, meaning uh, everybody gets a piece of one thing. There's not more resources to go around. And I think you're right. It would definitely teach that. It would teach that. Oh, something happened on your video
Yeah.
for once.
Yeah. Well,
Are you back?
yeah. So what if Hungry Hippos was designed by fast food companies just to keep on eating? We can Hungry Hippos. Remember that? Hungry
I,
Hippos.
I bet. I don't. Yeah, I feel like it's more likely
For
that it
example,
was just.
it would never sell in a Buddhist country because
Yeah.
Nirvana is. If you had four Buddhists
Right.
play Hungry Hippo, nobody would hit the lever because they would say,
Right.
"I'm content."
They
No, no,
just sit around.
yeah, yeah. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Goody
Yeah,
says the most aggressive board game is Monopoly. That's the most insidious board game. It gets under your skin.
yeah, because you, you're literally charging people for walking. It's teaching people how to be politicians. You're gonna tax the people for walking by. Oh, you passed my hotel. Well, if you stay on the streets, you're gonna go to jail, and if you stay here on boardwalk, it's gonna cost you $400. You know?
Yeah. I think it shows the issue with monopolies, which is great. It's kind of you get what you see. It's like a monopoly simulator,
Yeah,
which doesn't make it a great game, but it makes it an interesting experience.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's interesting. You know? Um, yeah, I always thought Connect Four was a very stressful game.
That's a hard game.
Yeah, Connect Four was like vertical checkers, kind of.
Hmm. No,
Uh,
but it's harder than checkers. Well, I see what you mean because you have to plan ahead.
yeah. Well, then again, you have Battleship, which
Yeah,
is a violent game because destroying other people's battleships, if you don't die from the explosion,
right.
um, you're stuck in the ocean now. Nobody counts all the sailors stuck in the ocean after the aircraft carrier gets blown up, right?
Mm,
Because you know how you have to hit the aircraft carrier four times on Battleship.
yeah,
After the first one, people are like, "Yeah, fuck this, let's jump in the water," because you know
right.
that's going down. It's not like you got to wait for the fourth hit. You're like, "Oh no, we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna be all
Right.
right."
Yeah. You're 3 hits in just clinging on.
You know, so you're clinging on for dear life. You know, yeah, yeah. You know, there's never been a board game called Polite. Remember, there was no game called Polite. Like teaching people to be
Yeah.
good. other. Like
Yeah.
you got games like what's the surgery one where like
Oh yeah.
got to remove body parts and shit like that.
I know what you're talking about, but I forget.
Operation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you do the wrong surgery, you get buzzed, and then now the guy's going to sue you for medical
Yeah.
malpractice. And then the worst game ever made, and this is Don't Wake Daddy. The game literally is you're trying to sneak around the house and have fun like with your friends, but your dad's sleeping. And if you wake up daddy, it doesn't tell you what happens. But like, what's so bad if you wake up the dad? Like, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna beat the shit out of you? Is this like a parental domestic abuse situation? Like the game's literally called "Don't Wake Daddy," and my question is, well then what happens? Like, is he
Yeah.
telling my dad if we woke up, he'd say, "You idiots, get back to bed. I got work in the morning." But it
Yeah.
wasn't like he came down and was just like, now you're gonna suffer, and you're like, oh no, you're like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they need to make a second version of that. What happens when you wake up to dad? What happens?
Yeah.
What?
That the epilogue to the to Don't Wake Daddy.
Yeah, yeah, the game's called "You Woke Up Daddy," like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah. Or simplified, he's awake. He's
It's
awake.
it's just it's like Twister, but one person just beats the other person.
I'm just picturing like The Shining with Jack Nicholson. You know what I'm saying? No, like the
Yeah.
end of the. He's like, "You woke me up. By the hair of my chinny chin chin. You woke me up. Here's Johnny." You know. What
Yeah.
I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I don't think they teach kids anything good. You know. Um,
Mm.
in board games. Daddy was clearly an alcoholic. You know, saying those. You're like, Dad, it's only 6 o'clock at night. He's like, I don't care, I'm drunk.
I
And no,
think
it's scary.
yeah.
No, it's scary in the game. Don't Wake Daddy. Where's the mom? Why is Dad sleeping by himself? Right?
Man, whoever I wonder if when they were designing that game they were considering all of those things.
They weren't, but I analyzed everything. That's why I'm good at reviewing
Sure.
cigars.
Yeah, yeah.
I was always analytical from when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would look at stuff, and just perceive stuff that no one thinks about. You know what I'm saying? No, it is what it is. In a way, you can say that's why I'm a funny comedian. Comedians just observe shit,
Right.
and they find the comedic or the sick humor in something. For example, today on the way here, we stopped at a gas station because I had to use the men's room, right?
Yeah.
And well, I'm sorry, it was a gas. It was like a fast food restaurant, and I picked the nicest one in the town. It looked like a nicer place, and luckily the bathroom was clean. But they had one stall. But here's the thing: the stall didn't lock, so I was able to close the door, but it didn't lock. So if someone came in and went to use to take a shit, I'd be in there, right? So every time someone came in, I would like make like a noise or like I was clearing
Yeah.
my throat to kind of let you know I was in here.
Right, right.
Worrying, what if they thought I was making a pass? Like,
Should
yeah,
just should just scream, "Don't wake daddy."
yeah,
That'd keep him out.
no, but let me explain to you the awkward thing about being in free states. Like, so you're taking a shit, but like, so your pants obviously on the ground, right? Like, because you're on the toilet bowl, like they're around your ankles, right? Because you're taking a shit, right? But if you're in a free state, that you have a gun in the holster in those pants, so it'd just be completely awkward if somebody
Right.
walks in the hall and you're taking a shit and there's just like a 45 like on the floor, like it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just you're
Yeah.
like, oh no, like that would be a board game. Don't wake the guy in the stall, yeah, you know. Right? I mean, that's all I'm saying though. That's the problem for I guess free world situations.
Why that you're yeah, I mean, look, I mean, if you see the guy look, if a guy's taking a shit in a stall and you see a pistol in his pants, like, do your business and move on, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I feel like they're not going to stay around too long. They're like, oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry, fuck this.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I feel like what I'm trying to say is Second Amendment problems when you're taking a number two.
right. You you say, they're like, is this occupied? They're trying to figure out if anybody's in there. You just rattled a gun, right?
Yeah, he's just racking. No, that I would not do that because that would be
Yeah, no, that would be
well,
brandishing. Is that
well,
brandishing?
well, you got to say why is that person in the stall with you? Technically, not that's your property, but you're expecting privacy in a stall.
Sure. Well, no, no, no. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying you would kick the gun a little bit on the floor so that they know someone's in there.
No, I would never put my pistol on a floor in a disgusting bathroom.
Yeah.
You'd have to boil it in hot water, bleach it.
I'm gonna eat a little ice cream, man. That was
What's up,
that
Jason?
was that was tough. What's up?
He said you're caught with your pants down. Yeah, dude, it's just. I feel like in an action movie that could be a cinematic scene, because like in action movies you never see the guys never eat or go to the bathroom. But
Yeah,
let's say Mel Gibson like Lethal Weapon, he's like I'm getting too old for this shit, and Mel Gibson's
yeah,
like funny you said that. I got to take a hot shit. Let's go. Like, and he didn't use a holster, so he would just have to put the Beretta on the floor.
yeah, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That that'd be. And then you gotta get out of the. You gotta fight your way out of the bathroom.
Well, the question is,
Pants are
just
down.
do you pull your pants up without wiping, like or you do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's a good point.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, you're like wiping with one hand, firing with the other, fighting the guy off, pop, 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 wipe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or the guy's like, "How long you gonna be in there? What do you got, diarrhea?" You're like, "No,
yeah.
Glock." He's like, "What?"
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Actually, think about Pulp Fiction. That's
Yeah.
sort of like the pivotal part of that movie, right? Is because the guy only well, I don't want to spoil the
Yes.
movie, so I'm going to keep it vague. But the guy only gets away with it because his partner is not there, and so he's taking his shit. He catches him out.
Yeah. Yeah. You're talking about John Travolta. He had to take a shit, so it's like, yeah. That is something that he's a genius writer. That
Hmm.
situation normally you would not do that in a movie that has violence. But like, yeah, he got caught with his pants down. You're right. He's like, taking a shit.
Yeah, are we about to watch you take a shit? Fortunately, it hasn't hit me that hard in the stomach yet. But thank you for your question, Gary.
Yeah. Yeah. No one's gonna watch me shit. I don't know where that came from. Yeah.
No, no, well, they'd have to watch me because we can't watch you do anything right now.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's ruined. Ruined. It's kind of funny stuff, man. It is what it is. Well, it was a great episode, man. Hopefully, I think there was some good comedic stuff in the beginning. At the end, in between, it was covered with rock salt. I mean, if you want rock salt, salt, um, it is what it is.
It's weird because it's not a scary cigar, but if you pushed it like a little bit harder, or you add that green jalapeno, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just on the borderline
I
for me.
feel like certain notes have peak potential at certain strength points, and I don't
Mm,
think it's going to push that salt any harder. Does that makes any sense?
hmm.
Where
I
if
agree.
that same note was jalapeno, it would have been full strength.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for example, certain projectiles, no matter how much velocity you add to it, they're gonna almost demolish on impact. You pushed it too hard, and
Hmm.
it would destroy itself. So if you try to push that any harder, I don't think it's possible because I never had it. First of all, but second of all,
Yeah.
how much harder could you push salt? You know,
Next time you have to take a shit, why not just leave one?
take a shit.
I think, yeah, I mean the combination between the salt and the charred wood. I mean, it was 10 out of 10. 10
Yeah,
out of 10 for
yeah.
that flavor in terms of how hard they would push it.
But charred wood is more like a topping, not the ice. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I feel like some flavors are the toppings and some flavors
Yeah.
are. So you can have tons of toppings, but there's still. Does that make any sense? Like the salt is never going to be meat. So yeah, there was
Right.
tons of salt on it, but does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. Jermaine's going through some things. He's talking about trannies and HIV. Very sad stuff. I wish you the best. I think Jermaine needs to take a time out.
Yeah. I think that would be good for him.
Yeah, I think he needs to talk to a doctor, a medical professional.
Yeah. Take this time to speak to a medical professional.
Yeah,
Contact your PCP.
and look, and if you're trying to come out here, that's fine. We support you, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying, though. I mean, it's just like cigars. Sometimes certain people have transitions, and I mean, it is what it is. What it is. Is what it is.
I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself. I might
I don't.
just sit for a while after that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm not gonna have any salt. Yeah, right.
Ever.
McDonald's, you're like, give me some French fries. A lot of French fries. I'm like,
I can't think about salt, man.
oh, so
I
you don't
can't.
want to go out with Josh and have some nuggets?
Maybe nuggets. Nuggets sound pretty good.
They're like, oh, we're all out of barbecue, but we got rock salt sauce. You're like,
Just salt and nuggets. Yeah.
oh God, help me. Well, anyways, I'm gonna go, bro.
All
I'm
right,
human.
man.
I can only do so much. I've been in the darkness now for an hour, so I'm doing my best.
Yeah. All right.
I wish you the best, man. And
Likewise.
Kansas was real exciting. There's nothing happening in Kansas. There's nothing to do here.
I think Christ with corn. It's pretty
Oh,
interesting, though.
that was exciting, dude.
Yeah.
The put pictures of Jesus, holding the corn, but also examining it like this is blessed, you know.
Yeah.
And they really take their corn serious out there. They really, they feed the world with all that corn. I mean, how much corn they make in Kansas and Nebraska? A lot.
I think if you went to them and you go, oh, what is this depicting? Christ about to turn corn into broccoli, or you know what I mean,
Yeah,
some other, you know what I
yeah.
mean? They probably kill you. You
Well,
know?
they over there they turn corn into high fructose corn syrup. So
Yeah,
that's not a good miracle. That's not.
that's the miracle. Yeah, I guess that's probably what the image is truly depicting, right?
But see, that's the difference between God doing miracles and man. See, man's like, look, you could use it in your gasoline. You're like that, yeah, but that's
Right.
stuff for your engine, your ethanol.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, yeah.
More money built their churches. Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is. Hey, I mean, look, I mean, everyone needs that loaf of bread. So,
Got to do what you got to do, I guess.
hey, man, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I'll talk to you later, bro. You take care of
All right,
yourself.
Chief. All right, you too.
Peace out,
Talk
man.
to you later. Peace.
Peace.